And we're live.
There we go.
On the internet. Hi, everybody.
What's up?
Welcome into Morning Ritual, our TTRPG talk show.
Season finale.
Season finale. Howdy, everyone in chat. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Nick. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Rowan. Hi, Alien Jace. Hi, Darby. Nikki. Bo, good to see you. I see all of you. I love all of you. Welcome in, Harper. Yeah, so it is Noir and I for now, because Brennan's actually going to be joining us at the half. You know
Everybody
how...
Everybody walks out like, oh, fuck this.
Exactly. Everyone's just done. Done with us now. Hydrate.
God, really? Already?
It's okay. Remember, they're capped. They can only do it a couple times.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So you are not going to get waterboarded by chat again.
That would be pretty awkward.
At least a black shirt doesn't show the fact that you're soaking wet so much. Stretch. So, good morning.
Oh, what? They're just getting it all out. Get up!
And of course the posture check.
Get up! Get up! Oh, you punk motherfuckers couldn't wait.
Hello, Joy. Good to see you.
Oh, I thought you had work today. And you come in and the first person you say hi to is Anita and not your brother. Wow.
Of course.
Wow.
Because I am the marketing executive, the head of marketing and communications for Hot Girls Inc. For Hot Girls LLC. Hi, Latia.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Hate to see it. So yeah.
I think I hurt myself on that stretch.
You hurt yourself on that stretch a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Thanks, chat. Right, so yes. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks everybody for showing up, I guess.
This is the season finale. The name of the game is the first half we're going to be kind of taking a look back on all things Morning Ritual, right? And then second half we come back, we do the that guy segment, then we get out of here. Nothing major happens.
No, nothing really that huge at all. Apparently I am a hot girl legend.
And what am I, Joy? Am I nothing? A
little bit of a clip show, a little bit of us bullshitting for and reminiscing. We do actually have clips prepared, and we do have a scene for clips prepared. That is a whole thing. Clip show. We actually do not have harp music, though, to lead into the clips. Which would...
Wait, what?
Well, it's like in the TV show when it's like, remember the time that blah 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 did blah 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 diddly 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 diddly.
I'm pretty sure at this point nobody in the audience is coming to expect any level of professionalism.
No. Well, we are 10 minutes into us going. Well, about 5 minutes into us going across, and we still haven't introduced ourselves.
They should know what it is. It's the season finale.
For those of you who are unaware.
Unless you just came from BLM, in which case...
Welcome. Good to see you.
I was about to fight them, but then I was like, wait, if they don't know us, they don't understand what that is.
No, they don't understand that that's literally what you do is you rant and you fight the chat. That is part of your brand. Which reminds me, we didn't actually get a Noir Fight the Chat clip for this.
Out of the 5 we picked, I feel like there's some... Noir Fights chat energy.
There's some definite rant energy, for sure.
We picked some sentimental
clips?
I'm a professional. I do this every Saturday.
That was another clip that we were going to do, but we missed out on.
It was Noir in it. It's got Noir Fights the chat energy.
That's fair. Hi, welcome in, Raven. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party. For those of you who are uninitiated into the ritual, see what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Morning Ritual is our TTRPG talk show that I started as a Twitter bet, kinda. I just said if I started a morning talk show and drank coffee and chatted, who would show up? And then about 30 different people said that they wanted to show up. And then I invited Noran as my first guest, and he just has never left the chat. Hi, Seffi!
Hey, Seffi, we should just start knighting motherfuckers at this point as well, because we might need it.
I mean, we could. Well, it should be fine. It should be fine.
You sure?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I was about to start handing out swords.
I mean...
I don't think I can do that. You didn't give me the power to do that.
I don't think that anybody other than the person in charge of the channel can hand out swords.
Okay.
Who would you hand out the sword to?
Well, I saw Bo.
Oh, hey Bo, would you like to be a mod?
I trust Bo with my life.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for the people that are new, there are a lot of inside jokes and a lot of things that we do that are just part of the show. To explain, to kind of go OOC for a moment. If you're in chat, you are my enemy, and I must fight you. I'm compelled. There are two sides in the war. There's the Crunch Crew, and then there's the hashtag Stop the Crunch. If you don't know what crunching is, it's when you put your die in your mouth and you eat it, or you bite it for some reason.
It is the forbidden candy. Look, they look like Jolly Ranchers.
No, they don't. Oh, also, because I'm mindlessly snacking on them, and I should probably explain, I eat communion wafers for fun. Don't ask.
Because they're sacrilegious.
We've got a clip to kind of explain all this shit. I never
you should have your shiny new sword, Bo. If you refresh your stream, you should have a beautiful, shiny new sword.
I never thought we'd have to, at one point, explain this show to new people, because I didn't think anybody would watch this shit.
Yeah. We kind of got a little bit, I don't know, it started with the very first episode when we were just shooting the shit for what turned into, supposed to be an hour stream and turned into 3 hours.
I mean, and speaking of episode 1, I do want to give a shout out to our day ones.
Yeah, doing
the clips. We ended up watching a lot of our previous episodes. So just, shout out to, AJ, Lauren, Alien, just all of y'all been with us since day one, rocking with us.
Seffi!
Gang Dad, who was the first person to say anything in our chat, you know. It's noted, it's appreciated. Y'all have stuck with us for a very long time, and I still don't know why. You need to really examine yourself.
Seffi, thank you so much for gifting those 5 tier 1 gift subs to the community.
But yeah, we should fucking do introductions, because we have made it 20 minutes in, and we have not introduced ourselves.
Well, it's close to like 8, but we're good.
Well,
we were on the Go live stream for about 10 minutes.
Okay, that's fair. So who's going first? These motherfuckers.
We've got a hype train already. Hi, I'm Anita or Panita or Critical Misses. This is my channel, and you can find me here pretty much every time. We've got a bunch of really cool shows. We're already on our way to a level 3 hype train.
Oh my god.
And there's level 4.
Darby.
Great. You have no chill.
What are y'all doing? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of new shows coming in, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But Noir, tell us who you are. What do you do?
Hey, I'm Noir. I am a... I need to check my Twitter bio to see what I am, because I don't remember.
You're everything.
I'm every woman. No. Hey, I am Noir. I am a fucking I just go on all the streams. You can find me like on any channel because I'm a whore for work. Actually, later today you can find me playing a game with James and Chicasso, Gabe James Games. We're doing a charity stream of Honey Heist, and all the donations are going to be going towards keeping Georgia blue, because we need to make sure Mitch McConnell doesn't have any more power, because he's quite literally worse than Palpatine. This is the worst introduction possible. I'm very sleepy.
We were up until 2 a.m. Assembling clips and making sure that everything was set and ready to go. So yeah, fuck Mitch McConnell. And
fuck Mitch McConnell.
Keep Georgia blue.
And fuck Donald Trump.
If anybody came in and was like not sure what our political leanings were.
Yeah. We don't fuck with any sort of foes or isms in this house. Not on this Christian Minecraft server.
Consummate professionals, the lot of us.
Yeah, but just to talk about. God, hey, that's here. You can tell because it's loud. I love it.
I came in for fuck Mitch McConnell. And yes, the all caps, in my mind, the audio mixer in my head just went straight to the solid red line as soon as the all caps started.
But just to kind of go over the history and the purpose of Morning Ritual and Critical Misses, we wanted to create a space where we could highlight emerging and noted talent in the TTRPG community. We wanted to be able to make sure that we provide a safe space for people. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm just getting called out by Sphinx.
Is it that not in this Christian Minecraft server eats a communion wafer?
There's nothing in the Bible that says eating communion wafers is a sin. Like, I'm sick of people giving me shit about it because it's not bad.
No.
But anyway, yeah, we just want to make sure that we provide a fun, safe place to talk and to fight chat. And we've had a number of guests that have just been outstanding, that have been very open and vulnerable with us at times.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, it's just, and now we are on episode 20.
This is actually, this is episode 20, officially.
Yes, usually I quit things around my 5th time trying it, so this is why this is a pretty big deal.
Hey, would you be able to up the gain on your microphone a little bit? You're quiet compared to me.
No, I can't.
Okay. Just keep talking, keep going.
Oh, am I still quiet?
You're perfect. Actually, we're probably about the same level now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't want y'all to hear me nomming on all these communion wafers I'm about to down.
We are also consummate professionals, and if you eat enough communion wafers, do you reassemble Jesus in your stomach?
I become Jesus. No, that's sacrilegious.
That's sacrilegious.
You know what? Like, real talk, if somebody made communion wafers into like a chips bag, it'd be my favorite chips.
Y'all, thank you so much for getting us to a level 5 hype train. 210% of a level 5 hype train. You're snack-relicious. You're all amazing and incredible, and I love you so much. And then lightning struck Noir.
I mean, this would be the smallest offense for me to get struck by lightning. I wonder if Brennan actually watched this show to know what he's signing up for.
As a raised Catholic, I love/hate you all.
Should we cue up a clip and kind of give them an idea of what what they're up for this morning?
I mean, yeah, we could probably do something like that, with a little bit of studio magic.
Okay.
You mean like that?
There it is.
Does Brennan know about that guy name?
Starting with VR theory. Holy fuck, I forgot about that. I don't know that he does. I'll be perfectly candid with you. I have a few questions prepared for Brennan. One of them is I want his take on the Crunch Wars. I want to see what side he's on. I'm gonna present the information unbiased to see if he is a cruncher or a non-cruncher. I want to hear that guy story.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need to point out a very amazing cosplay by Persephoros. And if you have not checked it out, you need to go to Persephoros' Twitter and check it out because she did an amazing job bringing my favorite character, Kingston, to life. So those are the touching points on my agenda.
And speaking of that guy segment, that's actually the perfect segue. Speaking of segues,
hey, it's almost like we know what we're doing.
Almost,
we have no
almost
idea.
Like we know exactly what we're doing, but we really don't. Now I just need to find out where that part is.
Like I'm worried because I turned my gain up, but I'm still going hard on this Jesus.
You're good. So we're just gonna do a quick little bit of studio magic.
I heard there's a party for Labs Catholics. Hey, what's up, Twins? I'm just, crunching on some Jesus.
This is the origin of that guy segment on the show. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but you can go ahead.
Action, so I'm very excited. So to me, it's just like, okay, an example that I was in a game with. God fucking damn it. Like, just even thinking about this pisses me off. I was in a game with a friend of mine, and she was playing...
Oh, video, no sound? Shoot, that's my bad. Give me 1 second. Why are we not getting sounds? Oh, here but can't see? Let me cut that then. Let me go like this back to the beginning of the clip. And, haha! Studio magic. I'm a pro.
Hey, look at those two.
Look at us. Look at these babies. These sweet babies. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but you can go ahead.
So to me, it's just like, okay, an example that I was in a game with. God fucking damn it. Like, just even thinking about this pisses me off. I was in a game with a friend of mine, and she was playing this yandere cleric healer type. Like she was a healer, but she was like psycho.
Okay.
And it was like a really cool mix. And this guy was playing your traditional edgelord warlock.
Fuck edgelords.
And whenever she would try
That's
to
another one of my pet peeves is edgelords.
Fucking.
Unless they're done right.
This dude, okay, so here's how bad it is. After playing in this game, I have a draft in my Word documents of projects that I want to do, and it's called the That Guy Bible. The guide to identify and quell that guys at the table.
Yeah, super pro. That's us.
So, I mean, I think it's fair to say that guy was my idea, and all profits that come from That Guy Bible should belong to me, and only me.
And not the 19 previous. Actually, no shit. We've had 19 episodes, but we've had
18 That Guy stories.
18 That Guy stories.
Oh, is this gonna be Noir's first rant of the season finale? Because I'm kind of pissed. So I started That Guy segment on the hunt for the one person that doesn't have a That Guy story, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to believe that there is somebody out there that had been involved in the TTRPG community and had not experienced the horror, which is that guy at the table. And for those of you uninitiated, that guy at the table is a black hole of fun that completely ruins the gaming experience for you. So I have been on this show every day, on time, and the one time I had to leave, the guest that we have on, guess what? Didn't have a that guy story. And you know what? Not happy about it. Not happy about the one thing that I wanted to have happen while I was gone. And you know what? And it was Darby. Of course it was Darby. And you know what I did get to have that episode? I did get to have Darby giving me puns and a little Gideon that you customize so that she control me, but with a more personal touch. So fuck everybody. I was about to do the thing again, but I'm not, because I've learned and I've grown as our show has gone on.
But also remember that episode, Darby did sing for you.
That is true.
And you also got usurped by Alicia.
I got what?
Alicia took over as co-host because we were in a pinch. Though Alicia's That Guy saga did make up for the lack of that guy from Darby, because it was a treasure in several parts. Darby is a treasure. It's true.
You want to know what I find upsetting?
What's upsetting?
That the second that I'm gone, y'all let her take my name.
No, she's not the Noir
Y'all
Enigma.
let her desecrate my name.
No. Alicia's not the Noir Penigma. She's not the Noir Enigma. She's the Noir Pun-igma.
Look me in my human male eyes right now and tell me that's not the same goddamn thing.
It's not the same goddamn thing.
You let her desecrate my name.
We love us exactly one, Darby. And we love us, the Noir Punigma.
No, that's not a thing. Stop making it a thing. There's the Noir Enigma, and that's it. There is no Noir Punigma.
At least the other Noir likes the puns that we give them.
The other Noir!
We love us one Darby and two Noirs.
There's one Noir!
Noir and Noir Penigma.
Yo. Y'all get me so mad I'm doing the hands. On this, the day of my daughter's wedding? Like, how the fuck dare you, motherfucker? Into the Navarre first? No, we're not doing that. Everybody else gets to have their name, their moniker in this space without people encroaching it. It's like wrestling. You don't take another person's gimmick, all right? You can't have the New Day and then a day that's new, all right? There's no Enigma and nothing else.
One of my favorite things on this show is just letting you go off on tangents and rants.
They're Noir Soda. What did you fucking better not. What would they all have in common? There's nothing that they can have in common.
What the heck is going on above me right now?
I'd like to talk to you about the Noir of the Enigma Initiative. Somebody's probably getting their back blown out above you or something.
I think they're doing like construction up there, which is wonderful. Thank you for letting me know that that's a thing that's happening.
Nah, I prefer my reality better. I prefer a world where everybody who wants it gets not today.
Not today. Not today. But I actually think that the next clip we should do, because you've gone off on such an epic rant, is
these motherfuckers are still talking about a Noir Soda.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you guys. This is why I fight chat. Alright, I was trying to come in today. I was like, today's a big day for us, you know. Like, it's the season finale. We got a guest that like I didn't think we could. And like it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be tight. I'm not gonna fight chat today. I'm not gonna let chat win the bingo game that they created. By the way, if you're new here, these motherfuckers made a bingo game out of all our mistakes and played bingo at us. I never knew that bingo could be an insult, but it is. We're winning. Fuck you, Nick.
Sephi, if it sounds like construction, they're doing it right.
Yeah.
Wait.
Kelsey,
Oh my god. Oh my god, Joy.
I can be on the fight. And you know what?
Joy, my noir
Kelsey,
avatar is tall.
Oh, fuck you.
For the record, Suddenly at Peace or Joy is actually Noir's real life sister, so.
Your Dream Jay is my brother. My Noir Soda is Crunch Crew. It's my own family that's getting my ass today.
Yeah.
I love it. I put a lot of love and thought into that bingo card.
You absolutely did, and thank you so much. Yeah, she is literally Joy.
Captain Noir, Dr. Noir, the Incredible Noir, Noir Man, the E-Man, the Enigmas. I can keep going. You were about to segue into some kind of clip.
Oh, yeah.
The chat decided to be a fuck.
Yeah, because you were ranting, so I figured that the next clip would be the classic.
You make it sound like I go on
rant.
a rant all the time. I don't rant all the time.
Don't you, though?
I hardly ever rant.
Hardly ever. Would you like to hear the Jesus rant?
That was a pretty good one.
Here we go.
I still stand by it, though.
Oh, it's a good rant. It's a good rant in the grand
wrong.
scheme of things.
I wasn't wrong.
No. Oh, it's muted. 1 sec. Boop.
And this is
Wow, they are really good.
And you know what? I'm sorry. This is gonna be a rant. And this is 110% selfish, but it needs to come out because that story made me think of something. Fuck you, Father McCarville. Father McCarville is one of those motherfuckers where you would come up like this. You know what this means? This means put the cracker in my hand. Put it in my hand. And he was like, he'd put at my mouth, like, put your tongue out. I'm like, no, Father McCarville, I've got my fucking hand. I got my handcuff. Handcuff means to put Jesus in the hand. But he would try to put Jesus directly on my tongue. I want that. I want to put Jesus on my tongue. I want you to do it, Father McCarville. But he puts me directly in my fucking mouth every time. And I would try and hand bomb like a fucking Stevie Wonder. He fucking try and chase me. So he'd be up there for like a awkward minute. Motherfuckers are singing, and I was just trying to dodge this Jesus coming at my face. And I'm giving him the handcuff sign, which is universal Catholic. Put Jesus in my hand. Oh, Father McCarville, if I find you, I'm gonna fuck you up for that. Because that shit was embarrassing. I don't want anybody to fucking spoon feed me Jesus. I can eat Jesus on my own.
So you're making that purchase on Amazon, right?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Yep. It is a classic for a reason.
All right, I might have gotten a little carried away.
A little. Just a little.
I might have been a little upset that day. I'm gonna write a new poem called Spoon Feed Me Jesus. Yo, if you set it to like some soft acoustic guitar, you could probably sell it to the evangelicals and make a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely you could. Now introducing Catholic Rage. From You've Heard of Catholic Guilt.
But real talk though. Okay, look, I'm not gonna start that rant again. I'm not. But I'm saying, if you have gone to a Catholic church, you know what this means. Everybody knows what this means. Have you been to a Catholic church where the priest insists on you sticking your tongue out so they could put the Jesus on your tongue? Oh,
please put Jesus in my mouth. Seffy, don't think that you're safe right now.
Oh, you know what? I know we just did a clip, but I want y'all to remember that Seffy brings this energy because we got a clip.
We have a clip of Seffy bringing exactly this energy. Forgive me, Father. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. No, it's I'm sorry, Daddy. I've been bad.
Hey, whoa, hey, you relax. Everybody relax.
It's the clip episode, so there has to be some call-outs. It can't be a clip episode without a couple call-outs.
Oh, I mean, what a way to start your morning, huh?
Pretty much.
This is what it is.
I got you for Sephiroth. Check your DMs on Twitter.
Alright, but back to the point that I was making. Wait, what?
Apparently, we're all going to horny jail here.
I'm not horny. I'm never horny. I am chaste as the driven snow. Mm-hmm. I've never touched the butt. I've never even made direct eye contact with anybody in a lustful manner.
Premarital eye contact is a sin.
I would never. Latia, how about you shut the whole fuck up?
Don't even ask me what my eye color is, because then I know that we're moving too fast and we need to take a step back.
These glasses are protection, because I don't touch butts and I don't make direct eye contact.
Noir, never touched a butt, Enigma. Lying on my good Christian Minecraft server? Eats another Jesus.
We got 2 Twitter receipts.
We do.
No.
Can confirm, grew up in a conservative Christian denomination. Premarital eye contact is a sin.
Yo, I don't do premarital anything, All I do is just sit around and make content, and even the content I make, I pray for forgiveness for, because I don't want to make premarital content. But, you gotta make a life. Fair.
Latia, I'm
Tell
just saying.
Tell us about the plums.
Plums I know what you did on the stage.
Wait, what?
Latia.
Whoa, hey. I don't recall what anyone is talking about. If there are Twitter receipts, I can assure you it's the devil, and no one has proof of me ever being horny because there is no proof. So
on our YouTube page, we have all our episodes of Morning Ritual, including the ones that we've pulled these clips from. They are on there, including the story. It's about 3 hours and 30 minutes into the episode with Latia is when we tell the story of Godspell.
Godspell was a play that I was in high school. I forgot I guessed it on Seffy's podcast.
Yeah, you did, buddy. That's the whole reason why you were only on for half the stream yesterday, last week.
It's too late for us to walk away from the stream. That's right. Y'all want to come here and support everybody but your brother? You gonna hear about your brother being not horny because I don't get horny.
Jesus has risen, and what a Jesus. Y'all, all I'm gonna say is right now I'm trying to love my neighbor, but for fuck's sakes.
No, let them get their back blown out in peace.
I'm pretty sure it's actually construction happening above me, but our OnlyFans simp is no.
For all the best.
Thank you for that follow. Shit, I can't say that word now. Apparently it's against TOS to say the word SIMP.
Why?
Because Twitch cares more about that than actually enforcing rules about racism or sexism or homophobia on stream.
that a real thing?
That is a real thing. It's now against TOS for you to say that word. Or it doesn't go into effect until January? Okay, then simp.
Cause I'm simply the best! Wow! Better than all the rest. Alright. Okay, so for the people that are new and might be wondering why we are referencing a play, just a really quick rehash.
Yeah, you can't say simp or virgin.
You can't say virgin?
Yeah.
But that's what I am.
Pure and chaste. A pure chaste virgin.
But I can still say the N-word? That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah. If you say simp, incel, or virgin, you're done. But the N-word's still fine.
What was that? Yeah. Just a real quick recap on the lies that they're telling in chat. I was in a play once. I was attacked, and the attack left me vulnerable to just hormonal changes in the body, and I was on the cross in a very unfortunate situation. Nothing major, nothing sinful, that's it. That's the story.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on.
There was you definitely repented for your sins. There were several Hail Marys. I know, I'm floored by all the noise from my neighbors too, Darbs. I am gonna probably walk upstairs and murder someone in about 10 seconds if that keeps going.
Wait, hold on. Welcome to the Noir verse. Design your Noir soda inspired by the Noir Enigma. I am the Noir Enigma. Game dentist. The Noir Enigma, the Boston version. Seffi, I want to fight you. How dare you?
You're right, they might be on the floor, Seffi.
You know what? Just for that, I would like to queue up a clip now, please.
Which clip would you like to queue up next?
I would like to queue up Seffi's lasting impression on Critical Innocence.
Oh god, okay.
So y'all can see the energy that she brought to the show.
I am going to walk upstairs in about 20 seconds and murder someone, but until that happens...
How apt, because we're about to watch you get murdered.
Yeah. Oh god, this is illegal. Unmute. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Here we go.
It's like we're gonna die of thirst, but what a way to
Sexual
go.
awakening again.
Yeah. I need an exclamation mark cigarette for chat.
We really should.
Do you want one last
voice?
voice? Do you want my femme fatale voice? If you want to die of thirst.
Daddy wants a femme fatale. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck
No.
it. Yes, we want the...
Let's see. So what do you want to do about it? Do you want to play this game with me? Or do you want to forfeit? I don't really think you can keep up with me, but I'd love to see you try, darling.
Well, my Anita! my co-host has been murdered.
And I matched the background now. Thank you for that.
Oh my god.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Oh
wait, I mean...
I want to play the game.
Hi. Is something wrong, Anita?
Seven, no.
Is there a problem that I can assist with?
Hi.
I'd be happy to help.
It's like, that's why I like your tweets and move on, because I'm just like, I'm still not playing a cat.
You show your face to the camera. You look us in our eyes, Anita.
Yep. Can we get Seffi in Under the Pale Cold Sun? Hey Seffi, how do you feel about Vampire the Masquerade?
Joey, that's Persephora. Oh, you already did that. But yeah, this is not the first time that Sephi has come here and, and overtaken us with energy. And I just wanted y'all to see the time that she destroyed my co-host. It was lovely.
Okay. 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 D. D is the GM of Under the Pale Cold Sun. So, and we do guest spots on it. So if you would like to show up for an episode one of these Wednesdays, our creative lead D, or it's the Riddler in chat, will reach out to you if that's a thing that you're interested in.
So, in case anybody's wondering how we have managed to do any of the shit that we've managed to do, that's it. We just shoot our shot, and people that have no business saying yes to us say yes to us.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of exactly how everything works with us. As we just ask people, and a lot of the time they say yes, and I'm always shocked at how kind people are in this show.
We had tons of guests this seasons, and they were all flippin' wonderful, and I still don't know how we got any of them. Sephi saying yes. I told Anita, like, I'll try. I don't know. Sephi saying yes was like major. Bree saying yes. Like, everybody that we asked, I expected them to go, who the fuck are you? But they said yes, and we ended up having a blast, and I absolutely love them for it.
Is the show always this horny? Not always, but yes, always.
This is pretty standard. Let's be honest. This is pretty standard. Oh, thank you. Oh, hold on 1 second. I need to keep my co-host from murdering somebody. Hey, Anita.
Yep.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a little bit of hammering.
I have to keep myself muted because that was like 5 minutes of straight hammering.
You gonna be good. Because now we've got the running gag of somebody is getting destroyed above you. Like, we are talking some Rocco level wreckage. Alright? Like, somebody's guts are done.
Hey. I like how there's a lot of clips that we were going through and you were just like, is this horny? Is this too horny? Yeah, we should probably cut that. Or, you know what, is this too, is this too angry? Yeah, we should probably cut that one. But then there were clips where we're just like, yeah, these are pretty wholesome, so we'll keep them.
Why are you this way? You know, I have discovered something about myself recently, which is, I think the universe is trying to tone me down by sending me just a constant stream, just a constant deluge of the coolest aces I know. It's just like, chill. Maybe you should chill. Like, take a lesson from these cool friends you're making. I'm like, oh, okay. Am I missing it, or did neighbors finally cut it out?
They haven't. I've just been muted this entire time because literally that's all it is right now.
Somebody's getting that FDA approved, USDA approved slurp thing.
Joy! Joy!
I hate that came from my sister. I think I can speak for my fellow aces and say that rating in Hogarth's point, this is beyond our
Thank you so
power.
much for those follows. I saw that there were 2 of them just recently, but I've been muted because apparently my neighbors have decided to do construction above me.
Oh, see, this is the day that I always feared. I always feared Sephi and Joy becoming friends. Because if they get together, my
It's too
life is
powerful.
ruined.
It's too
My
powerful.
life is ruined.
It's over for you.
There's too much energy there.
Aloe nonsense or hashtag Aloe bullshit for Harper.
I don't know why you're the coolest sibling by far, Jay.
Can't confirm. Jay is amazing. I love Jay. I'm sitting here speechless from everything that has transpired in chat. Welcome to the Morning Ritual chat. Morning Ritual chat is a CR30 entity. The Morning Ritual chat takes care of itself. We can go on break. We could probably go on break for an hour straight, and y'all would just like keep the chat going.
Like you know, that's oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that it's the closest that we could ever get to like the CR level chat where it's just like the constant stream of comments, and most of them are screaming at Noir.
I was just about to be like the Critical Role chat is all like, oh, we love this content,
Hey.
we love you, we're such fans. Like our chat is just like, fuck you, what's your no hard soda? I'll fight you, and puns.
Pun 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 pun.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I mean,
I am very terrified of Sephi actually talking with Joy now. Like I'm legitimately scared.
yeah. Joy, please fight Joy. I have things to say, hot girls to recruit, and I do not need Noir present. Because
No,
hot girls on the Twitch stream. Noir is more of a concept than a physical being. His essence would probably just take on a new form. Yes, it's like the Doctor in Doctor Who. Noir will eventually just regenerate. CM chat, fuck you, Noir, but also fuck me. Ooh, ooh. Sephi is here to be recruited by Joy into Hot Girls LLC. Welcome to Hot Girls LLC, Sephi.
No!
We are in the process of getting our business license, so that way we can, in fact, be a structured corporation. I am the marketing director and coordinator for Hot Girls LLC. Our founder is suddenly at peace, or Joy.
Oh no.
I followed Sephi on Twitter. It's over for Noir. And Sephi is following back. Mm-hmm.
This is the darkest timeline.
Yeah, her life is done. So in order to combat the sacrilege, may I suggest a designated holy day of sorts a day each week when y'all have to use the beep sound over horny comments. Okay.
I love you, Harper. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great Saturday. I almost said Sunday. I'm fucking terrified. I can't think straight. Look, I need y'all to understand how powerful my sister is. I need, you know what? No, fuck that. I need to let y'all know how powerful my siblings are. My siblings do not have a computer of their own to like really run shit. And so I let them both use my system when they drop by, right? So I let Joy use my system, and she took over my Twitch stream for like half a day and started Hot Girl LLC, which is like a fake brand that everybody wants her to make real. And there's a
logo that will look good on a beanie. I've made it already.
Yeah, they still talk to me about it. And I was just like, that's one day. And they're like, well, can you just give Joy your channel? And I'm like, no, I worked hard on it. And then the other thing is, Jay, again, does not have a computer to run a stream, has somehow become besties with Madame Gandalf. And I don't understand how. Like,
because could it possibly be that the fact that your family is wonderful and charismatic, and that might be genetic?
I want to be the hot girl tactician. Oh my god.
Okay. Or distraction.
Can I get an internship at Hot Girl LLC? This is what I'm talking about. This is supposed to be about me today. This is supposed to be
About you?
me. Hiring will commence in the
The
new
year for Hot Girl LLC. Thank you for your application. Our HR department will look it over, and you will. We have also agreed that Hot Girl LLC is for the gays and for the theys. So anyone can be a hot girl if they have the right energy.
I truly believe at this point, if Joy was to open up a coffee to get a computer or something to start Hot Girl LLC, she totally could.
We could just start a GoFundMe.
Yo, if you'd be interested in supporting a GoFundMe so that the siblings can get a computer to start streaming, let me put a W in the chat.
W, sure. I
don't know. Put a hot girl in the chat if you'd be down to support that.
We've got a bunch of W's in chat.
Yeah, we got W's. So you notice how when I asked them to put shit in the chat for me, nothing. Okay, so I think
so after the stream we're gonna do a GoFundMe for a computer for Joy and Jay, because once those two start fucking streaming, they're gonna take over the goddamn world. I swear.
I hate it so much.
Yeah. Like I said, anyone can be a hot girl if they have the right energy. Hot girls, gender inclusive.
Am I a hot girl? Yeah.
I mean, that is up to our founder. Hashtag Nora rules.
Fuck all of y'all.
Thank you for that subscription.
Yeah, Steffi, both of the siblings are following you. You got Jay and you got Joy on you.
Yeah, your dream Jay is Jay. You're on thin fucking ice, Noir. So I think that's
Why am I on thin ice?
We are going to I think I don't necessarily have the power to say this, but perhaps we can grant you temporary membership into Hot Girls LLC. Just a trial period. You are a hot girl, but we're watching you. This is a review period. Mm-hmm. Steffi's gonna need to do something with both Jay and Joy, and they can just rag on you now.
Oh no, that's my nightmare. I'm on
You're on it's a probationary period for hot girl.
I'm on hot girl probation. Yo, that would be a fucking
hot girl probation.
Hot girl probation.
Okay, I gotta write it down on the list now.
I have my hot girl's learner's permit.
Give me 1 second. Let me get my pen.
No, our rules 2020.
That's pretty much every episode of Morning Ritual.
I hate it.
Hot girl probation. That is.
I'm sorry, I can't talk now. I'm doing hot girl shit.
Yeah.
Let's do an actual noir roast.
Oh my god, I'd be in for like the roast of the Noir Enigma.
Oh no.
I can set this up. What do you think? His birthday next year?
What the fuck?
Learner's permit means that you need at least 200 hours of hot girling in order to be a licensed hot girl.
Who's gonna be my hot girl chaperone?
I can be your hot girl chaperone. I'll take that on as marketing coordinator for Hot Girls LLC. Okay.
You ever read a text and you can imagine somebody like saying it? I was just imagining Kelsey like, how many guests you gonna need for that show? Because I want to participate. Like,
I think that's the entire chat was just like, yes.
I want to fight this motherfucker. I didn't think the show was gonna go like this today.
Okay.
I thought it was...
I will be the supervisor for your hot girl. Joy is going to be your mentor on how to hot girl. To be fair though, that stream was also the stream where we got you to wear a crop top, and damn.
We don't need to remind motherfuckers that happened.
That was on your channel though. Yeah, people of all ages and all walks of life can be.
Join the dark side.
Call-in portion of the Noir Roast. We can have some pre-recorded.
I am no Sith. I'm a hot girl, like my sister before me.
Yep.
You're a hot girl, Harry.
Nope. Our chat goes from can go from the thing that I love about our chat is they can also go from roasting you to being super sweet and kind and supportive. Because speaking of Sephi, in Sephi's episode, there was the whole section where the entire crowd was just cheering Sephi on and encouraging her to you do accents and use a voice and do a demo reel and now look at her.
I gotta say,
TikToks
if you
are
motherfuckers
straight fucking fire right now.
If you are not checking out Sephi's TikToks, you are missing the fuck out. Speaking of, if you are, oh god, hey Diana, hey, just in time for the, yo, I wonder if we could get Foul Familiar, who is
our
a sponsor of the show. I wonder if we could get them to make a Noir Roast for the Noir Roast.
Possibly.
It's just be
Sephi's gonna wear a nun habit for the Noir Roast. Yeah, Sephi has a TikTok, and it is real good.
Oh, okay, so there's a couple of TikTokers in the chat that y'all need to be following right now. You need to follow Crochetty Old Woman. That's Kelsey. Her TikToks are fire, especially if you are a She-Ra fan. AJ or Who's Your Kid is also on TikTok. Again, amazing content, especially if you're a She-Ra fan or if you love velvety singing. Sephi's on TikTok. You gotta check her out. She does a lot of amazing voice work on there, which just about the entire cast of Second City Saviors is on there. Bella is on there, but of course her name is different than it is on Twitter.
Sitting on a bitch, I think.
I think it's sitting on a bitch. So yeah, yo, if you got a TikTok link, let us know so we can shout you out.
I have TikTok, but I have posted nothing.
We gotta
Thank
change
you for that follow.
I'll twerk in a nun's habit while putting the body of Christ in his mouth. My brain cut off for a whole second. Just
wow. Wow. Wow.
I have one, but I'm not active anymore for reasons. Yo, you're actually one of the main reasons that I started doing TikToks, Diana, because your two white guys talking about D&D TikToks gave me life. Diana has a series of TikToks where it's just, you know, the YouTube shows where it's just a bunch of two white boys talking about D&D and PB, like PBRs and shitty beer. Oh my god. What's funny, and I'm gonna try not to get in trouble. I might have worked with one of the individuals that I'm talking about at this point. You know when you just leave YouTube up, and it starts playing a bunch of videos.
Yeah, so it does the auto.
Yeah, well, I left it up because I got my TV here and I do editing and whatnot on the computer screen. I just look away to eye bleach, and I had it muted, but a YouTube show came up, and it was two white guys talking about the new Tasha's book.
Yeah,
and one of them straight up picked up a beer, and I audibly went, Diana! It started busting up laughing. It was the funniest. Oh my god, there's so many amazing people here today. Hello. Oh, I still cannot believe You made a Noir OnlyFans simp account.
It's yet two middle-aged white guys agree with each other about Dungeons and Dragons is your magnum opus.
That's exactly what was on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a perfect.
Thank you for that sub, Diana.
Oh, hey! It was such a perfect representation that I lost my shit. That was.
Do we want to cue up another clip? Speaking of our chat going from horny to wholesome, we're gonna cue up the clip I think from Latia's episode, the one where I realized that this is kind of a big thing.
Can I just go off on the clip real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So this was one that I picked in particular, because this I feel like was the moment that Anita got just what it is that they created here, and it was very beautiful to see, because I've kind of always known that Latia. Jesus, so sorry. I saw Latia come up on screen and I said the name and we're queuing up the episode from it. But I kind of knew from the get-go that what Anita was making here was something that was cool. And to kind of watch chat validate it, like, immediately was awesome. So yeah, let's get wholesome without a W.
Hey, so... Unmute and yeah.
Here's a question.
Ooh,
I know, right? This is. I think this one's a little bit more meta, but how does it feel having a platform now? Like, how do you deal with that?
Oh Jesus!
I have a platform.
Got a platform.
People listen to me. Is that a thing? Like, wait. Oh shit! People are throwing money at me.
Yeah. Whatever this is, it was not all gifts up.
Because that's literally the representation of what my brain did during that whole clip.
Immediately after asking if I had, like, I have a platform, y'all gave this channel one of its first hype trains, and I just thought that was cool, and I kind of wanted to show that, like, you know, you put a lot into this, and the people see it, and that's cool. Chump.
Chump. This is actually, yes, Jamie brought up a good point. This is what I've accomplished in a year. And I started streaming a year ago.
Can we get some more hashtags you did this, Anita, in chat, please?
Ugh. I started streaming a year ago with a one-shot, and now we've got this whole thing. Yeah, I've stopped working. That's kind of... You are no small part in this. For the record, look. You are no small part of this. You are, for those of you who don't know, Noir is the one that shoots the shots. I'm like, it'd be cool if we had this guest, and then Noir will just pop into their DMs and say, "Hey, we've got this morning show. Would you like to check it out?"
Oh no, you're not gonna pivot on me right now. So
that's what I'm doing. We're pivoting. Yeah.
No, we're not. So like, I was just gonna say it's the whole point of Critical Business, and the reason that I kind of stuck by it is because you had a mission, which is it's kind of rough being in the TTRPG space because it's dominated by, you know.
Do you want to turn your gain up a little bit?
White guys. My gain?
Yeah, you're just a little bit quiet. I'm noticing on the.
There we go.
Yeah.
You created this because the TTRPG space is dominated by straight het white guys, and you wanted to create a place where people could feel comfortable, could feel safe, and where diversity isn't a tagline that you need to put on a show. It's just what is. I remember, and this is when like I knew I rocked with this channel, and I rocked with you, and I rocked with all this kind of stuff. We played a game. It was me, AJ, D, and you. It was the three kobolds in a trench coat game, and it was three black three black people and you, and like nobody mentioned diversity. Like nobody mentioned that it's three.
Yeah.
Three black dudes.
And like we've done a couple like good strides in like the way that we do things. I've brought on D, or it's the Riddler, as our creative lead. So D is actually in charge of all the casting, checks out show pitches, and makes sure that what we have and what we do has that focus first. Like that's always been my idea, is that I just wanted more friends to play D&D with, and I wanted more friends that looked like me and more friends that looked different from me, different from straight white dudes playing at a table. And so that's why we brought D on to be the creative lead, because as a queer black person, D has oh my gosh, Diana, thank you so much for all those 5 gift subs.
You know what? I'm actually going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with you.
What?
I'm going to disagree with you wholeheartedly. We brought D in because D is our friend.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too.
That's it.
It was the second easiest move that I made on this channel, was bringing D in, because she's wonderful. I love
D
them.
is all those things, but at the end of the day, D is somebody that we like talking to, and that's kind of, to me, the point of that's how you're supposed to do diversity. Is you have everybody in your circle, and when you have everybody in your circle, if you just randomly pick somebody in your circle, it shouldn't be a higher percentage that you get any one individual.
No.
If I reach my arm out and I grab somebody in my friend group and they're always, a white guy, that's a problem. They're always a black guy, that's a problem. They're always a straight guy, that's a problem. They're always this guy or that person or that person or that person, it's a problem. You're supposed to have everybody in your circle. And that's it. When you do that, when you go, you're going to be part of this project, you don't have to worry about what the fuck they are, because you got everybody, and you keep pulling and you keep building, and that's what it is.
Yeah. The easiest decision that I made on this channel is bringing you on Morning Ritual.
That was a mistake.
Clearly, all these people in chat seem to think that this was a terrible mistake.
Yeah, nobody's even here right now.
Thank you, Diana. I love what you're doing. It's refreshing, like a cold glass of water.
Aww. I thought we went down like a shot of Malort.
Sometimes.
Malort calls the weak.
That's true.
A critical mistake.
Yeah, a critical mistake. Earlier, Latia said that it was my critical mission.
Oh my god. Are they doing a bunch of critical puns?
I mean, this is Critical Misses, and I did not include that clip when he realized what the pun was.
Your biggest mistake, to be honest. I come with him like a package deal. It's true. If I'm letting you know now, if you cast me in anything, chances are you're gonna have to deal with Joy and Jay.
I'm so excited if we ever get Joy on a stream on this channel. Yeah, I'm real excited to get both of them. Does Jay roleplay?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get Jay into it.
Okay.
We'll have to ask Jay. Jay, would you consider being in a game at any point? I like how my nepotism is so obvious. I don't give a
Oh no, we have to deal with Joy and Jay? And Noir? Yeah, Dee shared the old schedule, the schedule from back in September and October for Critical Misses. It was 3 shows a week. And going into 2021, we do have content 7 days a week.
a family's stream. No.
Family stream.
It'll just be us talking about our trauma for 3 hours.
So we can get a little bit into that. We've got about 15 minutes before before Brennan hops into this call, and we'll go on break. Going into 2021, we have something every single day of the week. We're going to finalize the schedule over the break because this is our last stream of the season. Jay, let's lie and tell people he's our dad. Okay. So on Mondays are going to be our rerun day. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do... Actually, you know what? I'm going to just grab the schedule that I wrote down because, hey, this kid is organized.
While you're doing that, let me just say, Jay, knowing how to play the game is not a requirement to play the game.
Oh, knowing how to play the game is definitely not a requirement on this. Have you seen System Shock or System Crash? It's literally, that's the whole point of the show, is we all figure out how to play the game together. So Mondays, rerun days. We would start with a rerun of the week's morning ritual. Yep. Struggling single father, please support him.
The no RTTRPG family ties.
Yeah. Hashtag Noir Dynasty.
No.
Mondays we would start the morning with the morning ritual, the rerun from the episode from the week previous. And then we would be doing, speaking of, on the channel, Chaotic Creations, Harpersona and Darby, or Dead Flower Girl in chat, we're going to bring their talk show onto there. I'm just gonna power through this. The Enigma Syndicate.
Yeah, just keep going.
The Enigma Syndicate is good. Oh, that's real good. Stop, that's my dad? Chaotic Creations is going to be after that, then a rerun of Second City Saviors, and then we have 2 8-week games, one that TP Grant or Tom is running that we've titled, what's it called? Beyond Twilight Road. Hey, look at me, I've got it written down. We've got a really good cast for that, a lot of them are in chat right now. So we would do an alternating between that one. We've also got Power Awakens, which is run by Kayla, or Kaleidoscopes. It's going to be a Sentai game that's a Cypher system. That's on Thursdays and Fridays. Wednesdays we're going to have Under the Pale Cold Sun and Chaotic Creations the day that it airs. So, Mondays, reruns. Ending off with Under the Pale Cold Sun in the evenings. Tuesdays we have Second City Saviors every week. It's a weekly show now on every Tuesday. Everything happens at 6 p.m. Mountain, so that's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sentai. Second City Saviors is every week. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. we have the Chaotic Creations podcast in the morning, and then Under the Pale Cold Sun in the evening, which is at... Again, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Fridays, we have Thursdays we have Power Awakens, the Sentai Cypher System game. Fridays we have Beyond the Twilight Road. Saturdays we are going to be back with Morning Ritual.
I'm not in the Super Sentai show.
No,
I have nothing to do with that.
I'm in the Sentai show. Dee's in the Sentai show. So is AJ. And. Okay, let's write it. And Alicia, or NNG9, is in there too. Oh, Latia.
Yeah,
I completely forgot that you are the community manager for What to Cook now. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations on that, yo, for real.
Beyond the Twilight Road is going to be
I
Zyhander.
applied for that job too, and I didn't get it, but you got it. Congratulations! I'm real happy for you. I hope all the best things in life happen to you and only you, since you got that job that I also applied for. I'm not mad. I'm real happy. Congrats! I hope it's wonderful.
Latia knows where you live. and we'll find you. And steal those glasses. Fridays is Beyond the Twilight Road, a Zyhander Fae Fantasy bullshit was how it was pitched to me. And we're really excited. Just did the session 0 for a family game using Cypher. Check off Close to Mike. That goes on the bingo card. And then... Fuck your bingo game. Saturdays we have Morning Ritual as per usual. Sundays we have one bye week, System Crash, which is the new revamp of System Shock that has myself, Harper, and Darby are going to be our three mainstays, and then we're going to have rotating guests. There will be a sign-up sheet for that, so if you want in on a game to learn how to play a brand new system, I also got a whole bunch of games gifted to me over the holidays. My friend Matt Hales, who is awesome and ran my very first Masks game, decided to gift me a bunch of games from Itch. So we've got a list that we can go through from there. We will have a one-shot, and then we will be bringing back No Disqualifications, our PBTA Masks game. So yeah, Herbie and Darper. That's Harby fully loaded. But yeah.
I'm trying to find the bingo game because people are asking for it.
Yeah, Kelsey made us the bingo cards.
I think it's in off topic.
I think it is.
Anyway, as you were, we got 9 minutes.
We do have 9 minutes. And yeah, so we are very excited to have, we went from 3 shows a week, including Morning Ritual, to a full sustainable 7-day schedule. And I'm not on every show. That's the biggest thing, is that I wanted to make sure that I wasn't present on every show. I'm on shows 3 nights a week, and Morning Ritual on Saturdays. But I'm not going to be on every show. It's the place to be in 2021, and we're really excited to get started with this. It's going to be a good time, and I'm really excited. Yes, absolutely. I need to start taking care of myself a little bit better, so 2021 is going to be the year that I do that.
2021 is going to be the year where I wild out to the point where it either lands me in jail or on the cover of TMZ. That's what I'm going for.
So, are we ready for this last clip of before we go on break?
I don't remember what it was, but yes.
This is probably.
Oh, I remember what it is.
This is probably my favorite of the clips that we pulled together because it leads perfectly into a break. It's from our episode with Gnome and Eris. It is the one that is affectionately titled what is it? Empathy and Irish Goodbyes.
Yeah. Oh, when you go to jail, can I co-host Critical Misses? No.
Yes. We've already had a couple guest co-hosts. Alicia, or NNG9, if she's in chat, helped co-host last week because the boy had to go and
the boy?
Yeah, had to go and record for Fast Times at D&D High, which congratulations on that.
Absolute pleasure. Like, I'm so excited for that episode to come up. Like, I need y'all to understand, I am a Fast Times at D&D fanboy. So being able to guest in that show, I was losing my shit, but I had to keep it together. Oh god, it was so much fun.
Noir saying no and Anita saying yes perfectly describes this entire show. Yeah. The Daddy, the Boy, and the Holy Spirit.
Well, I think we've loaded. I think we've hyped up this clip enough. Immediately following the clip, we are going to go to break, I believe.
Yes.
All right, so we'll see you on the other side with our guest.
Wait, muted. Yeah.
How we wanna wrap it up?
I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, communication, consent, and consideration.
What was the first shirt? It was empathy
and fuck off.
Yeah.
Either you're empathetic or you fuck right off. It's the opposite of an Irish goodbye when you hit end stream mid-sentence.
Oh my god, can we do that?
One day we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it right now. Just
I don't really.
Well, no, now you can't. Now you said it.
You're right.
You're
right. Let's act like we're taking it back and then just press the issue.
And on that note,
you know what? To fit the theme, we really should have just went on break.
we really should have just cut it right there, honestly, if I was actually thinking about this.
We're not good at this.
No, we're really definitely not good at this. Welcome back. We are back, and we have our guest. Hi.
Hello! Oh, thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here.
So please welcome our guest, Brennan. I am trying not to freak out right now, but I'm definitely freaking out right now. And then
I've already had my Troy Barnes moment where I'm just like, I just wanted a picture.
A signed
I'm
picture.
good.
Latia. Hi, Latia.
Am I being even tangentially compared to LeVar Burton? Because if so, oh my god, what an honor beyond words. Oh my goodness.
I'm an improv nerd, a comedy sketch nerd, and a D&D nerd. So you can kind of figure out, I quote the Don't Talk About in New York College Hubert sketch. Of course, I color it for Chicago because
yes.
That's what's up. But yeah, I quote that sketch religiously. So yeah.
It's really, that sketch really is applicable to wherever you are. If you're from a big city that has a surrounding suburban and rural countryside that just hates on that urban center, then that sketch is also for you. Be it Chicago, London, Tokyo, wherever you are that you're in that big city, please know that sketch is also written for you.
It's the what do you have a 24-hour public transit system to help you get around? No, then maybe you should shut the fuck up. Like that. That's
the answer is no. We don't here.
Exactly.
We don't talk about Toronto. Dorky.
Toronto, I gotta say, I have spent time in Toronto. I was there back when I was working with Molly Ostertag on Strong Female Protagonist, webcomic that we did together. We went to TCAF, to the Toronto Comics Arts Festival. A lovely city. Smoke's Poutineery. I enjoyed myself. I'm sure that's like a very fast foody place to go there, but I always enjoyed my time in Toronto.
So I'm the Canadian in the chat. I live in Calgary, but we do have some Torontonians in chat as well.
Gotcha.
Just Dorky Teacher Bo.
It's always weird when you hear what people have to call themselves. Like, I know people from New York and New Yorkers, people from California and Californians, but like
Torontonians.
That's
and Calgarian
for a while.
is what I am.
I've always enjoyed the term New Yorker because the thing that it implies is that being from New York is not something you are, it's something you do. Like a New Yorker, like that person New Yorks, and that really
right. It's not New Yorkian.
It's not New Yorkian. It's not New Yorkite. It's New Yorker. I New York as I go about my day. I'm New Yorking.
Chicago, we need to appropriate that. Chicago, nope, can't do it. So,
what is it, Chicagoan?
No,
Chicagoan?
Nope, my mouth fundamentally is having a heart attack as I try and put this together. So, we're gonna skip past that. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, especially with you, is I love improv comedy. You were with the UCB, if I recall correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm curious to see how you relate your improv skills with your DMing, because I find that I don't think that I would be the GM I was if I hadn't spent some time doing improv. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like they go hand in hand?
Oh man, 100%. I mean, they are peanut butter and jelly, right? They are these two things that just go together and enrich each other. Now, what's interesting is I had my cart and horse go the other way there, because I started playing D&D well before I started doing improv professionally. But what's interesting about that is improv was still very much a part of my life. Like, my dad was a stand-up comedian and an improviser way back in the day, even prior to UCB. He was with a troupe called the First Amendment in New York that was like a improv. And this is before, so he was doing improv, what we would call like short form improv, which is very much like similar to the style of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? Right. Big theatrical, lots of games, almost like emceed, announcing what the game's going to be as you go into it. And then by the time I started studying improv at UCB, that was almost 100% long form, which is much more like getting a suggestion, and it's less you're playing these, just riding with it, right? Which is actually, by the way, huge contribution of Chicago.
Harold, it's the Harold style, baby. What's up, Second City? Let's get it.
100%. You have to take your hats off to Chicago. It's the mecca of comedy. People.
You know what? I just died. That was it. That's all I wanted. It's been a great show, y'all.
True, man. It's the birthplace. You got to give props. But so I started playing D&D when I was 10 years old. And I also was attending a LARP summer camp. It was deep nerdy stuff when I was a kid. And by the time I got to New York, I actually was basically going to UCB and taking classes. And the thing that set me at ease doing improv was my background LARPing and playing D&D. So I actually, in other words, like your experience of do you think improv helps you with D&D? I absolutely think it does, but I think the reverse is true too, where D&D and all that stuff helped me with improv. I used to tell a joke when I was on my first Herald team at UCB in New York, which for people watching at UCB is Upright Citizens Brigade, which was founded by a group of people who came out of Chicago and brought the form to New York. There you go. Boom. Again, you got to do it. You got to give props. But when they founded the theater, I joked with my other seven teammates on that first Herald team that I was like, listen, you guys are all doing improv. I'm LARPing. I'm just LARPing my ass off to keep up with you guys. This is like all my training, all my comedy training has been filtered through role playing. And it was very interesting when I first started doing improv classes to basically take a set of skill, because when you're role playing and doing D&D, the improv is just to tell a fun story. And sometimes you're being funny or you're doing bits. And then when I went to UCB, it was sort of funny to really hyper focus on using all these role playing skills and going, now apply this just to getting laughs. You are just trying to be funny here. And then I got to College Humor, and then it all came full circle as they were like, hey, would you want to do an actual play show? And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, I left.
Exploded.
It was wild. Wild.
I have to admit, I was a little bit iffy. I'm like, College Humor doing D&D. I don't know, but I think I was worried about it being just a cashed-in trend, but everybody involved cares about it so much, and you can see that. It's been a treat to follow along and watch this, especially. Okay, so there's this thing that I love, which is I love when something is absurd, but the absurdity of it is never brought to mind, and the idea of a very serious Game of Thrones-esque story being told with candy, it's so ludicrous. It's so absolutely this won't work. But if you don't acknowledge that, it's a cake that's doing this horrific shit, then it's like it really it makes you watch it and you're in the emotions and you're crying, and then you have to, in the midst of crying, you have to go, wait a second.
It's absurd, but it's grounded in its own rules, right? That's
Right.
what she just posted. And also, apparently I need to start making TikToks now because we got over 50 viewers.
Yes, we did it, y'all.
That was the bet
Incredible.
that I had to do, is that I had to start posting TikToks if we got over 50 viewers. So
If I had only known. I'm so sorry, Anita. I'm so
all
sorry.
right. I will do this because when the internet demands something, I need to do that.
There is also there is a controversy in the TTRPG community that I need to have to get your side on.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called crunchers. These are people that put dice in their mouth and just kind of chew on them.
They don't actually do this, to be honest.
Listen, we've gotta bring up the controversy.
So in chat we have hashtag
they call
Crunch
themselves the Crunch Crew. They put dye in their mouth and just nom on the forbidden
because
candy.
they look like forbidden candy.
The forbidden candy.
And then they put it away. There is also a side of our chat which is Stop the Crunch. We need to know, Brennan Lee Mulligan, are you with the Crunch Crew? Are you with Stop the Crunch?
Wow.
It's a heavy choice, you know?
First of all, we live in a time where it is incumbent upon all of us with access to these platforms, be they Twitch, be they podcast, be they YouTube, whatever your platform, to speak on the issues of the day, right? And I truly believe that neutrality in and of itself is impossible, and that when you choose to be silent, you are just siding with the you're enabling, you're siding with the status quo. I would never shirk from sharing an opinion on this prescient and important issue. Noir, I wish I could come here and tell you that from a position of safety and responsibility, I could tell people to stop the crunch. However,
Brady, you're breaking my heart.
As someone who has not figuratively, but literally been made to eat my dice, I cannot in good conscience claim to be something other than what I am, which is a cruncher. And I'm sorry.
I am, for the record, hashtag crunch responsibly.
Exactly. Thank you, Anita. Crunch responsibly. Because here's the thing, right? Is like, for me, I was given a pack of these. I think they're called sugar and dice, and they're edible sugar spun dice. If you're gonna crunch, make sure that you're crunching something edible, right? And so I it's
fine. It's fine. I was warned never to meet your heroes. All right, Crunch Crew, you win the battle list. This has been a season-long thing, started by our very own Rowan. Rowan and Abby over at Chromatic Chimera. They started crunching, and then they built up a unit, a military unit to haunt me wherever I go.
Oh, incredible. Oh my God. Well, hats off to them, and I say, hopefully we can find a way to bridge this gap, because I think that each of these communities does bring its own wisdom to the table. And, hopefully Crunch responsibly is that middle ground where we can find togetherness here.
I agree. Crunch chaotically in chat.
No matter what you tell them, they're gonna do the opposite.
It's
so
true.
I've surrendered.
Like I said, our chat is an entity
level
unto
of absurdity.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
So another question that I have, because honestly, I think anybody who has played D&D or any sort of TTRPG, I think one of the dreams is to tell your story and have people react to it in such a way that it inspires them to, create pictures, art, cosplays, and all that kind of stuff. I know one of our very own Persephoroth. Uh, she creates the Fast Times High podcast. Recently featured on Critter Hug with Matt Mercer. She has done a beautiful Kingston cosplay.
I saw this. Persephoroth is an incredible creator. I remember I think the cast met Persephoroth at our Brooklyn live show. I believe she came in Aylwin Abernant cosplay and now has done an incredible Kingston Brown cosplay. So a shout out to Persephoroth. Woo!
Yeah, and she's also in chat right now and crying.
She is amazing, and she like the reason I bring up the Kingston cosplay is because Kingston is by far one of my favorite characters and one of my favorite character concepts, which just just the city being so responsive is just so cool. But yeah, so what's it like to to tell these stories and to step away from it and then to come back and just see just a deluge of art and other things that you inspire from this?
Well, it's staggering, right? And first of all, to just echo what you said, listen, I love all of the every story we've told. To mention 20, I have loved with my whole heart. Kingston Brown, and specifically Lou Wilson and his portrayal of Kingston Brown, is just so special. And I think, I will never be able to answer which character is my favorite character. But I think someone once said, someone asked a more specific question. Where they're like, if you could hang out for a day with one of the PCs, and for me, I think it was Kingston, where I was like, oh, just like that. He's the archetypal, and that's I think people sometimes don't recognize how big of a risk it is for Lou to play that character, because you're playing the spiritual and emotional and moral center of a place. Think about what an ask that is. That's a big task as a performer. And all Lou does is just hit home runs from beginning to end playing that character.
Just the character concept alone, it opens up so many potential stories that it just are staggering. Is Kingston the way he is because of the city, or is the city the way it is because of Kingston? And what happens if either one of them kind of drastically flip? It takes a concept like the concept of the cleric or the druid, where it's just I get my power from this divine entity because they like me, I like them, and we're cool. But yeah. If you get it from your environments change all the time. What does that do to a person that is so in line with it? It's just, I could, Kingston is the one character that if they had a prequel, I would go nuts over it.
Yeah, right.
There's just a lot of story.
Oh, I totally agree. Well, in my head, that I do have that sneaky, because we see that little cutscene at the beginning of spoilers for season 2, but I'll make sure light spoilers. But we do see that flashback to 1994 where we get a young 30-year-old Kingston.
Yes.
And we see kind of a little bit of his origin story, which is so funny because in season 1, we see Pete's origin story as the Vox Phantasma, which is chaos and thrown into the mix, and Pete's a mess. And the Vox Populi is the exact opposite. He's the opposite of a mess. He's so there. He's actually lifting other people up around him. He's so put together, right? And there is this, and you see how he gets the eternal token, and he see the sort of magical subway station and all the stuff like that. But with that, I think that this sneaky idea in my head of what if we did the 90s and it was young Kingston, younger Misty Moore, Alejandro, Jackson Way, do that prequel campaign. That would be so fun. But I do think that there is a within the relationship of New York City to Kingston. And I think you're exactly right. New York City is the divinity that Kingston is accessing his spells from. For lack of a better word, New York City is his deity, even though it doesn't really function or work like a god, because New York City, it's never stated New York City, in other words, Kingston's god is not the god of New York City. Right.
It
is just New York City.
New York City.
Right.
He harnesses all the energy of the day-to-day goings on. And as some like again, my entire brand in everything is that I love Chicago with my entire heart. So being somebody that loves where they are, like that hit because there's little things that like the bus coming exactly when he needs it. Like we've all been in the situation where it's snowing, it sucks, and you have to wait an extra 15 minutes because if you leave too early, you're gonna miss it. You leave too late, it's the same thing. So it's just like it's so convenient and so slick. I love it.
Noir also has an entire campaign, like over several different streams and shows, that is based around the city of Chicago. It's called Trouble in the Second City. So we have a masks campaign on this channel called Second City Saviors, where we have teen superheroes. And also there's the original Trouble in the Second City, which was started as a D&D, but is going to be moving to Urban Shadows.
Whoa, awesome.
Yeah. And I think you were also going to do Englewood Academy, which was Monster Hearts 2. But all of them are based around like places in the Second City.
I need a inner city Hogwarts to exist. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll make one. and I'll put it in our worst part of town. Cause,
I love that.
Like, yeah, go ahead.
Honey was actually just saying in chat, Honey and Dice is in there. Hi, Honey.
Hi, Honey.
Yeah. When Brennan was able to capture the danger of playing dominoes with people who know how to play and his ability to respectfully play off of, with, and through Lou's responses, it made me finally know that I could vibe with both of them.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like Lou is such a great. So myself and Lou Lou's like one of the most incredible people I've ever met in my life. We have a 2-man improv team back when we were able to perform live prior to the pandemic. He's like my workout buddy. We like our improv team is called the House of Gains after us being workout pals. We work out like 3 or 4 times a week. And I just have a rapport with him. And what's incredible about that is being able to just follow his lead. Because, to the degree that, like, especially a lot of your guys' viewers are interested in TTRPGs in general, is just that idea of, like, so much of being a dungeon master, I think the position you want to be in, whether you're storytelling, or game master, or dungeon master, is in a position of service, right? That you are, because even though you're controlling the environment and the cosmos, you're doing so in response to the first person actions of your player characters, right? So being able to bounce off of everything Lou says about the world, like I could be wrong, but I think season 1, Lou introduces the idea of dominoes through Kingston reacting to his father, Winston, and brings that up. And it's so effortless to just, because Lou has the ability to just, through his inflection and his performance, give you the whole rest of the world through one statement, like the gravitas and weight of what that means, and him talking about his dad. It's like everything is there as he like gives up through the performance. Playing with Lou is like he makes life easy for everybody. He's the best.
I love Lou so much I bought a Pete Davidson movie. Like I love Lou.
And it's magical when you have those kind of people at your table who can like just play off of what you do, or like just my favorite moments in games are when you don't even need to talk to the other player to know exactly what's going on with them and the direction that they're going. It's the Riddler D, who's in a couple of games with me. I've played enough games with them that the minute they'll say something in the game, I'm like, I know where they're going. I know who they're gonna be bringing that up with. Let's go from there. So
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. There's a scene in Lonely Throne, which is the D&D game that Noir runs, where he asks an NPC what the protocol is on combat or fighting other nobles. And I'm like, okay, I know exactly who he's going for. He's going for my character who hasn't said a word but has shown that like they can fight. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, having that ability to I mean, like, that's, I think, what we're all shooting for, right? Is to have that ultimate back and forth, that volley with players and DMs. And that's my favorite thing too. The trick with Dimension 20 is always how the sort of parameters that we find around our seasons. Like, we have to make battle sets ahead of time. We usually have a set number of episodes ahead of time. So you're trying to bring the plane in for a landing on a set number of episodes. But one of the things we're always looking for is that ability to really have those scenes come up that couldn't have been planned because they just exist in the volley back and forth between player and dungeon master. And whenever you can get those, it's, you know, and I'm trying to think of examples in Dimension 20 of scenes where you're like, couldn't have been anticipated. This only could have occurred because we were all listening to each other. I think the hospital scene in Fantasy High Season 1 with Emily Axford and Brian Murphy, where we just did a hard 90-degree turn into like a hospital romance drama for 30 minutes. It was
the hot dwarf doctor.
The hot dwarf doctor.
Dr. McDreamy.
Dwarfy McDreamy, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just, you go like, well, okay, here we are. Like, this is us listening to each other. No, it's really, really special. I also wanted to bring something up too, doubling back, not to keep winding back to stuff, but I love too talking about clerics specifically, because there does feel like something really incredible with the relationship that clerics have to their divinity. And this is my little soapbox I get on about like, especially in D&D, where the whole deal with clerics is that like, you have cleric's primary spellcasting ability is wisdom, right?
Yeah.
And the whole deal with, so what that tells you is that in order to be a cleric well, in order to like wield the magic of your god well, you need to have a heightened ability that is directly correlated with insight and perception. So what that always, when we were making Kingston, the thing I always love is like, clerics are not force of will. That's charisma. That's like what a sorcerer's deal is. A cleric's strength comes from their ability to listen. That they are, in other words, a conduit. They are receiving stuff. Because wisdom is all about reception. It's all about like getting information and perceiving and having insight into things. So the idea that Kingston's power actually stems from his ability to listen to the voices of all New Yorkers and feel the ability to direct their heartfelt desires, their needs, their wants, is something that I always really dug.
And I think that was shown especially well in the introduction of Kingston as a character, in the sense that, you know, when he walks out, you know, everybody's saying hi to him. When he walks in the middle of the street, you know, the car stops. And that could be like, you know, the power of me is making the city move. Or it could be seen as like he is so in tune with the city. He knows what's going to happen next without actually having to think about it. He knows exactly when the bus is going to be there, and he knows that if he gets on the bus at this time, the change machine tends to malfunction, so he doesn't need to pay. So it's just...
I love that. And that's the thing, is one of the things we wanted to set up with, this is like my secret one of my little bullet points that I wanted to achieve with the storyline around Kingston, is that I knew going into the season that Kingston, for the most part, I think D&D has done a good job of de-emphasizing alignment, which I think is a good thing to do overall. But what's interesting is in the cosmology of the Unsleeping City, law and chaos are kind of baked into the world of like dreaming versus waking world, right? And what I wanted to do with Kingston was to, when people classically think of like a lawful good character or think of the idea of law, I think that there is a tendency to be like, oh, uptight, rules-oriented, and what I wanted to do with Kingston is give a version of the magical force of law, or like of maybe more like order in the world, that showed a version of that was positive and honestly cool, of like this don't think of this as being rigid structure. Order in this world means community, harmony, things being in tune with each other. Like he walks across the street, and there's a lot of times where we narrate with Kingston of his presence aligns the heartbeat of the city, such that all people are moving around him in unison. And go for it.
And on that note, Sephi brings up a good point. You know, the juxtaposition of Kingston, the black man representing the city, versus Robert Moses, which, you know, this kind of brings me back to something that I kind of wanted to pull to discuss, which is going back to the volley of going back and forth. One of the things that I appreciate is we have on our show like our own canon, and we have something called the dusk colored man. It's from an experience I had where I was playing D&D with a group of white guys, and there was a black character and they didn't know how to explain it, and my presence there obviously made them uncomfortable. So it's just like, and this dusk colored man appears, and I'm like, it's okay, we can say black. So like, one of the things that I know can trip up DMs is being uncomfortable trying to represent something that they're not, and that's a subject that has been difficult for a lot of DMs, and I truly respect the way that you bring Kingston and his family and everything to life. It's respectful, it's well thought out, and you can tell that you trust the player and the player trusts you, or in this case the player being Lou Wilson. I love him so much, I just want to hug him one day.
Latia forgot about the Dust Colored Man. That was also her episode.
Yeah. So
see,
like,
that's,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's so wild, because if you say dusk colored man, in my head I'm thinking of someone who's like indigo on top, and then shades of like pink and gold. I'm like, a sunset colored man? That's actually kind of dope. Like, is this a genasi? Are they magical? Are they like shifting?
So
I was like, oh
we
no, you're
developed
just
the Dust Colored Man, who is your warlock patron, your new deity.
The warlock patron.
Older than the passaging of time in the universe, and newer than the newest newborn baby. Everything and nothing, all. So we have created the lore behind the Dust Colored Man.
Of racial awkwardness.
And he's there to tell every motherfucker who won't say,
black,
this is a black character. And smack him upside the head, just because.
Wow, that's so funny. The patron, the warlock patron of racial awkwardness. Good Lord. Ooh, that's so funny.
We do have a question from chat. Dee asked, you mentioned bullet points. What would you say is your most necessary DM prep step?
Most necessary DM prep step. I mean, this is going to sound very cliche, but I would say also, just to append in case we don't circle back to it, Noir, thank you so much for the kind words. I would be irresponsible if I did not say that. Aww. Most of why I have a degree of comfort telling those kinds of stories and portraying those kinds of characters is due to the incredible work of all the people who work on the show who are not me. Specifically, we have an incredible roster of sensitivity consultants, people that come in and work, cultural consultants, people that come in and work with us on the show and doing that correctly. You know, I remember the first time we were planning Unsleeping City, and Zach and Lou both made their characters, and, you know, Ricky Matsu is Japanese American, Kingston Brown, obviously a black ER nurse from Harlem, and both of them were describing a rich life filled with family members and neighbors and people that they knew. And immediately I was like, oh, well, shit, you know, like, what is going to be the best way, you know, and not only on the level of like, what's the most ethical way to do this? What's my responsibility to the audience as a storyteller? But also, because that can sound a little bit sterile, right? It's also like, how do I make this table fun and welcoming and joyful and inclusive? And like, I want this to rule for people that come and watch this show, and I want my players to have a good time here. So, you know, I would say that like, all credit to the amazing consultants we've worked with. Obviously, the fact that like, you know, we have Allie Beardsley who can tell Pete's story with an authenticity. We have
Allie
so much. They're incredible. You know, we have Lou can tell Kingston's story with an authenticity, and then I'm just there to support them telling those stories. And that goes back to the bullet point question, which is, I know it's going to sound cliche, but it really, my number one bullet point is you are there to serve the experience of the players. Now, I don't want to, fall into the cliche or the trap of making it sound like a dungeon master is this like long suffering, like, like I made a big dinner for everyone and no one helped me clean up. I don't want to have that attitude to it. Like, I have a lot of fun being a dungeon master. But what I would say is within the fun of being a DM, the number one goal that I set out in prep work, both for a session and also for a campaign over a larger period of time, is in my experience, PCs have the most fun when they get to experience the arc of a heroic story first person. And they get to feel like, oh my God, I'm living in a story first person. Because we've all watched amazing stories third person. You're passively consuming a movie, but the experience of like, no, I'm speaking in the first person and I'm making these choices, and the consequences of them feel like I'm tumbling forward in this heroic storyline. And I think the most important things for you to do as a dungeon master are, can you set up twists and hooks and story events to grant that feeling? Absolutely. And can you set up players to confirm their identity, right? If someone wants to play, the archetypal fast talker, high deception character, have you planned a moment where they will be able to truly bamboozle somebody and get to, like tip their cap and be like, see, this is why I'm the best. You want to, that's my all-encompassing bullet point, is giving people a chance to be the identity they told you they wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, and that I feel like the thing that sets apart the DMs that I've enjoyed playing with the most and the other ones is come in with the perspective of, you want your players to feel like heroes. And one of my personal things with DMing is I always try and give everybody a YouTube moment, which is like that scene that, everybody would go to YouTube to see again. And I think we all, like, if you've watched Critical Role, if you watched Division 20, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that, like, you want to be able for each player to have like a compilation at the end of a campaign.
Yes.
And so it's just like, if I have a sneaky character, how did their sneakiness save the day? If I have like a talker, how did they make somebody feel stupid? Like, wow, this is going to pivot to our next topic really well. I had to pat myself on the back before we get there. Well, one of the things that one of the experiences that I had that I don't like is just the DMs that are rigid and they want to write a novel rather than have an interactive back and forth with me. Because we get told no in our day-to-day life every day. We don't play D&D to be told no all the time. I understand. So that kind of brings us to our That Guy segment. And I'm going to introduce it as always. If you are new to the TTRPG community, you may not have had the pleasure, but if you have been in the TTRPG community, you have probably sat at the table with a That Guy. They are a black hole of fun. They are not compassionate. They are not considerate. They play to win, and you cannot win D&D. So, Brennan, have you had the pleasure of sitting at the table with That Guy? Can you tell us about it? Because at the end of our season, we're going to compile all the That Guy data that we have, and we're going to publish it in a book called the That Guy Bible: How to Identify and Nullify the That Guy at Your Table.
It is a That Guy spotting guide. I have to keep myself muted because the construction noises above me are reaching a fever pitch.
Anita, I have to say, I really love the juxtaposition of your beautifully appointed shooting space. The fairy lights behind you. It's so otherworldly. and then
you.
hearing bang, bang, bang.
I know, I'm dying right now. It's just like
That's-
this is the day that the people above me had moved out and they've decided to do all of the renovations. So,
Oh no.
such
I'm
is my
gonna.
life.
Well, here's what's interesting, right? Is like obviously the biggest that guy to worry about is someone actively cruel or malicious that's dedicated to ruining people's fun. However, given that I'm coming in at the end of the season, I also don't want to tread on overly familiar territory. And also the people, it is hopefully a rare experience to actually run across someone openly malicious.
You know what? And on that note, if you, we can give you a sample of what we've experienced.
Please,
This season.
There's been quite a few.
Please.
It's been wild. Okay, so we have a neck biter. This is some that face is priceless.
What? You have a what? Who did what? And what?
Yeah.
So we had a individual who got a player to work with them on making a character, and then this person bit the player on the neck.
Sephi has admitted that that was her.
Yeah. So then we had an ear stroker.
Oh God, what the hell is happening?
No.
I was expecting you to say something like, "Oh, this person was like rude about initiative." Not like this person bit somebody. Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
Brennan, let me tell you.
The ear stroker is not a D&D related story. That was just from me working in a downtown area.
It still counts. It still I need to tell you, like, when I started that guy segment, I was coming from my own POV, from my own perspective. So I was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of rule lawyers, we're gonna get a bunch of, this, that. And then we had a bunch of film presenting individuals join our show, and I quickly understood that I had been playing in the minor leagues when it came to that guy. Like I thought my worst story doesn't touch the average that they presented.
Oh my God. Yeah, I feel so bad for those people, but like truly, it's like, oh God. Well, okay. Knowing that, here's what I would say, right? And this is gonna be very. Listen, I don't have any story that's gonna touch somebody bit me at the last game that I played. That's so next level. I don't have.
Yeah, we're not touching that, Brennan. There's nothing we can do.
Well, I also love like if you're playing a game and someone's biting you, you don't need advice from TTRPG professionals. You should. That's not imagine someone submitting a question to like Jeremy Crawford of like, my DM keeps biting me. What should I do? It's like, don't ask Jeremy Crawford about that. No. Just leave. Run away.
Sephi says that he's in jail now, though, so it's okay.
Oh my God. Good God. Wild. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing that touches that. I would say, I would say that like the most garden variety, that guy that has haunted my life the most, and I think is a very subtle type of that guy, meaning that they can slip in under the, like, if you go to a game and someone's like, "What's up, man? I only play D&D doing knife tricks at the table." They start throwing knives around the table. That's like, you can very easily be like, "We're not going to play with Steve anymore." That's a bad look, right?
Yeah.
This is a type of that guy that I think is very pernicious, because they can stay at the table for a very long time because the thing that they're doing is destructive in a very ambient way. They're almost like the carbon monoxide leak of players, where like you don't notice that they're happening. And basically what it is my least favorite that guy that I've played with is somebody who comes to the table with the attitude of consuming an experience rather than producing an experience. It is a person whose whole attitude, even if they're subtle about it, is like a Roman emperor being like, "Entertain me," like go forth, like, yes, Dungeon Master, what is your story? And it's that attitude of a player who really believes, maybe even subconsciously, that they do not have to be an active participant in what is happening. We had an episode of Adventuring Academy recently that I think is one of my favorite episodes of that, which is basically Dropouts, like advice, TTRPG advice show. We had Emily Axford as a guest. Emily, anyone who knows me knows that she's one of the core cast members for Dimension 20. She's one of the best players of all time.
I love Sofia Bicicletas with my entire heart.
Ooh, Sophie Bikes, baby. So, she's one of the best of all time. And what I love about her episode is that we really focused on advice for players, because I think that we all know, and I'm guilty of this as well, that like 80 to 90% of the advice I give is geared towards dungeon masters, right? It's geared to, which has this kind of effect of putting an onus of storytelling on DMs. It makes everything seem like you guys are responsible for this. If the story is good, it's because the DM is good. If the story is bad, it's because the DM is bad. Ignoring the fact that the story follows the PCs, right? So Emily's episode was great in terms of how much advice it gave to the active role players play as storytellers. And so that guy that I'm really worried about is someone who truly is like, give me a plot hook and now tell me why I care and now tell me what I do next. And ultimately, you can't move a story forward unless your players are making the choice to care. So that guy is someone that comes to play a D&D game and is too cool for it. Someone who's like, whatever, like if I like what are you doing to entertain me? And is not making the choice to engage. I think that attitude of just being aloof and too cool for everything is probably the least constructive attitude that I see regularly at table.
No, I absolutely feel that. Like, for me, that's kind of a kryptonite as well, because if I see a player not engaging, my mind immediately goes, I'm not doing my job well. And so you spend more and more energy, and it's just like it comes at the expense of the game and the story at some point, because you know.
I mean, that's the thing is you can't. There is no amount of plot that makes up for the characters being disengaged. Like take whatever, all the kinds of mythic storytelling. Like, imagine trying to do Star Wars and it's like, and Luke, you exit the speeder and you see that Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru's home is on fire. They've been killed by the Empire. And the guy playing Luke is like, okay.
So, like, do I get the money from selling the sand farm or what?
It's like, you can't like, I can't make you care. I can't make you care. And there is no ingredient to storytelling that is more important than the main characters caring, being engaged. And it's sad for all you DMs out there. You will never find a trick or a way to overcome that. If you're playing with players that just don't give a shit, it's out of your control. That is, a game of D&D or a game of any tabletop game is a potluck. If nobody else brings anything, you don't have a meal, no matter how much you prepared, right?
I think another thing that makes that incredibly dangerous is because that could also, like, somebody not engaging can be that. It could be that guy, or it could also be someone that is scared or nervous. And I just thinking about it, I've had the experience of having dealt with somebody that just doesn't engage, and then having that same experience, and it's just somebody that needed a little bit of extra talking to, just a little bit of extra work to make them feel more comfortable. So it's a test on DMs to, like, make sure that you stay patient.
Finding that, like sewing that needle from like a shy player or a player that's feeling self-aware or like self-conscious about getting silly, because that's the thing, right? Is I remember this is going back to improv for a second. I remember in my 101s when I would encounter that kind of toxic aloofness right? Because it's hard, because sometimes someone's shy, sometimes someone's self-conscious, and you try to coax and encourage. But I remember encountering one dude who it got to the point where it's like, okay, this cannot be chalked up to shyness. This is you performatively not giving a shit. You're like communicating this is dumb to everybody. And I remember stopping a scene where he just gave we were doing character matching, so it's like you have to match the voice and physicality and energy of someone else, and he just wouldn't try. Like the person came out as like this hunched gremlin, like, "Hey there, friend," and he didn't do anything. And I remember stopping, and I was like, he went, what did the guy say? He's like, "I don't know, man, this is just silly. I just feel silly." And I looked at him and I said, nothing is more silly than you spending $400 to take this class and waste your own 8 weeks of time. That's the silliest thing in the world. Yeah. You already did the silliest thing you've ever done, and it was you clicking confirm on the order to sign up for this class. You're a 35-year-old man taking an improv class. You're playing pretend, like, and I'm silly too. I'm here teaching improv. Let's all be silly. Yeah. This whole endeavor is ill-advised. None of us are like, we're all, actuaries, we're insurance adjusters. We didn't do something serious and grave. Get with it. Get silly.
It's a genuine lack of investment on the player's side, I think.
And it's self-protection, right? Because what you're trying to communicate is something to the other people in class. And that was one of the big pieces of improv advice I used to give is I was like, this is true in life and in improv. When you put your guard up, I can tell you're scared. It's totally counterintuitive, but the more you try to protect yourself, the more weak, the more obvious it is, to the point. And we've all met that person that has the guards up. And, it's very counterintuitive, because I know that people do that and put those walls up to be like, I'm tough and I'm not to be messed with. But of course, you look at it and you're like, oh, you're scared. People don't put their guards up unless they're scared. And conversely, when you're totally vulnerable and you let those walls down, then you're bulletproof. In at least in a performance capacity. Yes. When you make an ass out of yourself, you're invincible. So it's like, it's a very counterintuitive thing, but I think it applies to improv and to gaming as well.
I mean, that kind of reminds me, coming back to improv, that kind of reminds me of something that one of my teachers told me, which is the surest sign that you know who you are is your ability to be someone else. If you know who you are, you can come back. You can come back to home. But if you don't know where home is, then you're gonna stay where you are. So I love that we've kind of come full circle back to improv. Because here is something that improv has helped me with that I'm sure that you're able to relate. I've done improv over at Annoyance in Second City, and you'll have people come in that just they do all the classes, and then there's the like, okay, Saturday Night Live is gonna hit me up any second now, and like, and then you have people that start streaming actual plays, and they're just like, all right, when do we become Critical Role or Dimension 20? And I think, and I think
there are a lot of those.
Being in that space, kind of taught you. It kind of taught me that there are 1,000 layers before you hit that benchmark. I suppose what lesson has improv taught you that wasn't so much about the improv skill, but was just the meta improv lessons that you learned, how to handle people who force you into scenes that are uncomfortable, like that kind of stuff, like dealing with people. Do you have any improv lesson that you've gotten that fits more to that you can attribute to?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, it's very funny because I think that when people, I remember I had an aunt. I've been taking improv classes for a couple of years, and I was doing improv for 8 years and like scraping by. Mostly, like, again, like I was very fortunate in that like I was able to get by doing mostly improv teaching and coaching, and I felt very good about that. But it still did feel like, even just a short couple of years ago, I felt like oh, everything that I want to be doing is so far away from where I am right now. And I think that creative industries and fields are rough that way. And they are for most people. And they become rough off and on. Again, look, people's creative careers are very, very rocky. And I did hold on to a lot of improv lessons throughout that. I remember I'd been doing improv for a couple of years, and one of my aunts at a family gathering said something along the lines of like, oh, you're doing improv, you must be very, like you must be good at lying. Like you're so quick, you come up with stuff so fast. And I honestly said, truthfully, improv's made me worse at lying because so much of improv is not crafting a response, but just reporting what you're honestly feeling. Like I remember I was doing a catering gig. I was working as a caterer at this museum gala, and I just was so tired and overworked and was standing there. And I was like zoned out. I'd been like awake for 18 hours and my feet were hurting. And someone who was like a guest at the thing actually asked me like, hey, are you all right? What's going on with you? And I looked up and just went, I'm sad. And just said it. That's what improv really does to you, is it you lie, you tell the truth more often. You're like, no, I'm just sad. Yeah. But I said the real superpower that I think I took away on a meta level from improv, and this is going to sound totally cliche to anyone who's ever done any improv is listening. Listening. It's just really listening. And I think that if you look at actual play streams, regardless of the stream's level of success, I'm just talking about quality, whether you've got 5 viewers or 500,000 viewers, whatever, the streams that are engaging and good to watch have a degree of respect between players and the people running the game, and active listening, meaning that when people are not waiting to do their bit while someone else is contributing, everyone is engrossed and invested in what that person's saying. And that is a superpower in real life as well. I'm always astounded by how often my wonderful partner, Izzy, loves to watch reality TV. And I'm always astounded. She loves the Real Housewives series. And I'm always astounded watching those. And I'm like, these people are all best friends. And none of them listen to what anyone is saying. Like, this is an argument in which the sentences don't line up. It's like you're listening to 2 people on 2 separate phone calls, even though they're talking to each other. And it's an amazing thing that one of the biggest improv lessons, and again, something that I incorporate into my teaching all the time, and I think is really useful in storytelling, is that I stopped, even in just normal conversation, dealing with regular people in my life, I started to put more attention on trying to listen to what people meant rather than what they were saying.
Yes.
Because I think in a lot of times in life, what someone is telling you doesn't actually mean what the definition of the words are, right? And that you can excise a lot of harm and discomfort by actually trying to understand what people mean, rather than being a weird rules lawyer for conversation and being like, well, this is what you said. So someone, it's just that quality of intuition and insight into people, where you're at home and someone says something like, can you close the window? And it's a little bit clipped and short. And rather than being like, oh, I don't think it's that cold in here, let's have a fight about whether the window should be closed or not. Instead being like, oh, my friend is upset, I should focus on that. Like focusing on the heart of the matter. And I think that helps improv scenes. I think focusing on the inner truth of characters and the emotional truth behind the words is probably the biggest like meta superpower to take from improv.
This is giving me major flashbacks. One of my very first improv lessons was our teacher had us talk about a brick for an hour. Like, you understand that, like, the first difficulty is you would have people try and talk about anything but the brick.
Yes.
And then it was just people describing a brick. And then you kind of find the emotional center around just, the brick. So like, no, I completely get that. You're about to say something though, Anita?
It also brings back to the point in your That Guy story is it's active listening, and it's just investment. It's investment not just in the narrative, it's investment in the people and in the story that you're telling, and in the overarching thing. That's all that it comes down to when you're an active listener, is that you're invested in the core concept of what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table. Sorry.
No worries. 1,000,000%. And I think too, there's a great concept, and I don't know where this is from. It might be like psychology or sociology, but there's a great concept. And I think this is useful in tabletop stuff. It's certainly useful in acting and performance, but it's the difference between speech and a speech act. And it's the idea is pretty simple once you get your head around it, but it's so helpful when you're thinking about portraying characters. And what it basically means is it's going to sound like you're talking about lying, but it's not lying. It just is a way of saying that speech, meaning the actual words you're saying, have a relationship to the speech act, which is what you are trying to accomplish with what you're saying, which doesn't mean that you're being manipulative. It doesn't mean that you're being sneaky. It's not like ulterior motives, but it just means that usually when we say something, we're trying to accomplish something with what we're saying. It's very rare for speech and speech act to perfectly line up, right? So an example of them perfectly lining up is if you're like, you're at the bodega and you're like, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. Like that means, my speech is let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. And the speech act is I'm trying to get a bacon, egg, and cheese. It's very rare for this.
Nobody yells, I am mad. Like
I am mad. Yeah. I don't. And then I get the sandwich and I look at the guy and say, I'm sad right now. That doesn't happen. But an example of like speech versus and getting people to start thinking about them is even the most innocent, frivolous speech in the world has a speech act behind it. Like if you're in an elevator with someone, and there's like the elevator's making a lot of stops and you turn to the other person and are like, whew, like, making crazy weather out there, right? It's important to know, and this again, whether if you're doing an actual play, you're writing a novel, whatever, when a person turns to you and says, crazy weather we're having out there, that this meaning of the words is talking about meteorological events in your locality, right? The speech act is, this is awkward. We're trapped in a little box together. I'm trying to make a connection because I can smell your breath. We're like in the room. And when you start thinking about the world in that way of like, almost everything someone says has this action behind it. And I can think about both what you're saying, but also what you're trying to do.
What you mean.
You mean, right? And that's really, really helpful. And there's ways that can be positive or negative. We all know, like the best example of that is like flirting, which people understand intuitively when someone's like, so did you read
brave of you to assume.
Yeah, very bold. Yeah, I'm sure we're all flirting all the time. But there's that idea of like, like when I'm talking to you about if you've read any good books recently, like the speech and the speech act don't, like I'm not really chasing down, like I'm not like a literary reviewer, right? I'm like, there's different things going on here. One of the examples that was very intense too that I used to get in this was about speech that seems positive, but the speech act is actually kind of negative behind it. Where there was one of them of like, in a moment where your character is revealing trauma or talking about hurt, and another character is being like, here's all this stuff that's bad, and another character comes in and goes, hey, it's okay. Listen, everything happens for a reason. And the person who was giving this speech about speech versus speech act was like, what is the meaning of that speech? Everything happens for a reason. And people were like, it's a claim about the universe and how the universe works. It's a claim that like justice or fairness is, or that you have a destiny or something like that. And the person says, great, what's the speech act? And there was a pause and someone in the class raised their hand and said, they're getting you to shut up. And the person was like, exactly. And we were like, whoa. And the person was like, yeah, by saying, hey, stop complaining. Everything happens for a reason. It was in the context of the scene we were reviewing. It was like, oh yeah, the person's saying something comforting, but what they're trying to do, the action behind it is to get the person to stop making people uncomfortable with their hurt.
So a perfect example of this, and not to quote your old work back at you, but it's the College Humor skit, I have a right to hold this shit. Like, where it's just this person is just like very reasonable. Like, I am just holding a deuce in my hand, and that's what's happening right now. I don't understand why everybody is so mad about it. And everybody's just like, you're holding a piece of shit. Now let's talk about it. Like, it's somebody who's trying to make something unreasonable seem reasonable. And so
Yes.
it doesn't balance out. So I have used that to kind of show people, like, you are being shitty right now. We are having a civil conversation right now, but you are still holding a piece of shit at me.
And that's the thing too, is I think that taking that from improv and from theater and other stuff like that, online spaces are filled with this, and thankfully there's some language to talk about this. Like, people talk about sea lioning now, which is basically this acknowledgement that sea lioning is when you're saying something online and a bunch of reply people on Twitter or whatever are like, I have a question in good faith about what you're doing, but it's not in good faith.
Oh, it has a name now. Good.
Yes, it has a name.
It's based on a webcomic.
Based on a webcomic. And I think it's actually really positive and healthy that online spaces, which have a problem with acknowledging that not everything is in good faith, and who have a problem with like, online spaces are very dominated by people that demand to take everything literally and demand to go, you're only allowed to interact with my words. You're not allowed to infer anything about me from context. You're not allowed to infer anything from what I'm not saying. You're not allowed to infer, like,
pay no mind to the dog whistle. Yeah,
pay no mind to the dog whistle. Exactly. And and I'm glad that there is a peaking consciousness of like, no, actually, I am allowed to make inferences about your state of mind and your intentions here, based not on your speech, but on your speech act. I'm allowed to look at the context of this and see what it is you're trying to do here, right, even if nothing in the actual text of what you said, breaks internet rules of engagement or whatever. I think it's a positive step in the right direction to have those acknowledgments.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more people take nuance and like all of the context of what somebody is saying and who they are and their reputation, and they're factoring that, and it's beautiful. it's we've needed it for some time now.
Truly.
I hate that we had to get to where we are for it to happen.
And I mean, we also say that you could even go as far as to say that a lot of online spaces are built on just demands.
Yeah.
Not just demands on like what you're saying and how you're saying it, but demands on your time and demands for you to explain the things in such a way that that's all it is it's just, and it's frustrating for sure for someone to be constantly asked to validate others on that note.
And I think especially too, because the people that are being asked to do that validating are often the people that are the most imposed upon already for their time and emotional labor and bandwidth and all this stuff, where it's like, it's not fair to, exactly. I totally agree. And I think that like having that ability to bring these concepts in of like you're saying, your reputation, your past actions, all of that is allowed to be part of the equation. And I think that, it was very funny because when I was I went to school for philosophy when I was younger, and there's this huge attitude in formal philosophy of like, only use logic, never use emotional reasoning. And what's incredible is in the past 20 to 30 years, psychologists, neurologists, people that study the human mind have kind of come in and said, like, actually, for most people, your intuition and your emotional reasoning are based on areas of the brain that are way more reliable. Like, if you clock a bad vibe on somebody, don't let yourself get accused of being unreasonable. You have thousands of years of brain evolution that is built to clock bad vibes. Like, trust that.
Exactly.
Trust that. That's a good, like, that's a good thing to trust.
Yeah, so, there are creatures that are built on threat response and threat, like quantifying a threat and then finding a way to diffuse that threat. Like,
right. And Exactly. And just because you can't articulate that using your prefrontal cortex, which is the newest and therefore buggiest, glitchiest part of the brain, like, yes, that's the part of your brain that can build a rocket, but that doesn't mean that it's not brand fucking new and really prone to error in a lot of other cases. A lot of those rockets blew up, if you remember. And like, it's that idea of like the older parts of the brain that really do things like measure interpersonal relationships and assess risk and just sometimes do get a weird, bad vibe. I think that, yeah, trusting intuition and trusting your insight into those interactions and not getting that weird thing that I think everyone in online spaces gets of like, oh, but can you prove how you feel about X, Y, or Z? Because that's a big thing that improv does too, is it does train you to be like, hey, these different sort of responses should be flagged. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you always rely on a first impression, and it certainly doesn't mean that you judge a book by its cover, but it does mean that if you have, these instincts that tell you like, oh, I get a bad intuitive feeling about this situation or this interaction, at the very least flag them and put weight on them, because that is coming from a real part of your psychology. It's valuable.
I mean, improv has definitely taught me the power of words unsaid. There's one of my favorite skits ever was a buddy of mine played a very boring like business transaction with like a rubber ducky tutu. Nobody acknowledged the rubber ducky tutu, and it's just like, that's what's funny about it, is there's this thing that's obviously wrong and nobody mentioning it is the joke. And I feel like the more we enforce and value people's emotional takes, just how people feel about things, the easier it is for us to fight bullshit like, gaslighting and that kind of stuff. Because gaslighting only works when you aren't cemented in how you feel about something.
A million percent. And I think too that, like, first of all, that sketch sounds very fun. I did a sketch with an old sketch group right when I was out of college, like 22 years old. And the sketch was called Clown Breakup. And it was me and a friend of mine, Jamie Andrews, who were in full clown regalia, like big rainbow wig, red nose, the whole thing. And it's just a 5-minute, like David Mamet-esque breakup scene where we never reference that we're clowns one time. It is never addressed. We're just so hurt and just acting as hard as we can. But what's funny is, to bring it back to what we talked about at the beginning, is that's been a real core part of Dimension 20 for a long time, is, and I think this, Nora, as someone who's, again, a formal student of comedy. We had a decision to make when we first started, because obviously, the brand is college humor, we're comedians. So we're like, we need to make a comedic thing. And right at the top, we knew there are two ways to get comedy out of playing D&D, right? The first way is the way that you've seen like a lot of sitcoms handle D&D, which is you can mine jokes doing something by making fun of the thing while you're doing it. And a lot of people do that. And the problem is that improvisers know intuitively is, if you are mining comedy by shooting holes in the bottom of your own boat, that's not sustainable over the long run, right? And it's like, yeah, that can be shocking and funny and interesting. But over time, if you keep being tongue-in-cheek and you keep kind of mugging to the camera and going like, can you believe that we're playing D&D? It's kind of like when stand-up comics go on stage and the first joke they do is making fun of what they're wearing. And you're like, yeah, and you're like, listen, that might be funny, but you put that on, motherfucker. Like, you got dressed today, so I'm not like in on this joke with you. Like, you could have worn something different. So it's like making fun of D&D feels like that to me. It corrodes what you're doing while you're doing it. The other way to find comedy is what we ended up going with, which is the idea of this was my personal mantra when I was a performer in New York, is I would say my instinct in every scene is to honor the absurd. Honor the absurd. Take something totally silly, that doesn't deserve gravitas, that doesn't deserve adoration and respect and honor, and give it all the honor in the world. That's Crown of Candy. Okay, we're saying that little cakes and sweet tarts and bonbons are like involved in a high medieval political intrigue. Great. We are going to die honoring this. We are going to give our lives honoring this reality. And you find comedy in that, where you take an absurdity or a comedic conceit and you go, cool, now this is gospel. And we are going to devote ourselves to making this wild thing as true as we can for as long as we can. And I think that over the long run, for comedians and people that are interested in comedic storytelling, that's going to be way more sustainable in the long run.
And that's exactly my funny bone. And one of the very interesting things about Dimension 20, and one of my favorite things to kind of key in on, is that you do have a bunch of comedy, a bunch of people who come into this from the comedy perspective, and then you also have people that are coming into it from the TTRPG perspective. And so, like, you know, the worry is, like, are they going to try and shoot for funny, or you know, are the people who are just, you know, coming into this from comedy going to, like, kind of laugh at the D&D portion of it? And I think again, thank you, Brain. I'm spacing on it. The series with Erika Ishii, Iffy,
Bloodkeep. Escape from the Bloodkeep, yes.
I love that one, I think, the most, because look, we all know and love Matt Mercer. Matt Mercer is amazing. Mm-hmm. I truly enjoyed watching him in this the most, because it was very interesting to see Matt at the table as, like, almost like new. Like it was almost like this is D&D, but it's not exactly his vibe. And he ended up becoming one of my favorite characters, which is just this poor put upon ringwraith. From episode 1, I was watching him adjust, and by the end of it, it was just amazing. And then him with Rhea, who, again, comedy focused, not so much on the D&D side, watching them grow together in this amalgamation of comedy and D&D was just so delightful. And watching them, like, bridge the gap with each other, I appreciated that.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, it's beautiful too. And what I love about Dimension 20, especially those side quests where we're able to get a bunch of guests in, is I love to be the person to, like, provide the you know, the playground, the sandbox, to do that stuff in, because I think for a lot of these people, stylistic, like, chemistry and style is so often out of a creator's control. Like, you start a show, like, you know, for most DMs, yes, you can adjust your style, but so much of your style is also who you are. And, like, to a certain degree, I don't know how different I could ever really be as a DM, because you're improvising. It's so much of just your innate personality. But what's so fun is when you change the chemistry up and when you change the brief up of what people are trying to do. Like, you know, Reka and Mike Trapp, who were our two college humor people in Bloodkeep, are incredible storytellers. You don't get to see them do that because they're writing sketches all the time. But, like, Reka, spoilers for Bloodkeep, but when Reka makes the decision as her character is falling to do what her character does, what an incredible story beat. Reka's incredible. Trapp putting that clue together.
Oh my God.
And conversely, we know that Erika Ishii and Iffy and Amy and Matt are incredible D&D players. But, like, listen, Matt Mercer, people need to give Matt, and people do give Matt props, but they need to give him props. And I'll say this as the person who runs, like, the comedy game. Matt Mercer's light speed funny. Like Henry Crabgrass, Zorth the Goblin Mercer. Don't get it twisted. Just because the guy does a lot of video games, don't get it twisted. This dude is light speed funny, and he could be lighting it up every session if he wanted to. But that's the thing about style is style. It depends on what you are attempting to do. And I think that it's so wonderful to watch those people. Again, Erika Ishii, you watch her, you know, like LA by Night, like she does incredible, like groundbreaking. She's an incredible performer and actress. But Lilith is, again, light speed funny. She's top to bottom hysterical. So and what I think is funny too is when you work with those people, you just find the way in. Like, for those people that are very incredible performers, all you have to do is, like, okay, you don't have practice joke writing. That's totally fine. You're going to be able to find comedy because we're putting you in a situation that's inherently comedic. Like, I think actors, going back to Honor the Absurd, like, once you're playing the deeply, like, heartbroken ring wraith leader or the Spider Queen wine mom, you don't need to write jokes. The jokes write themselves just by you committing
true to it.
Exactly.
I love, and I think that's the magic of TTRPG in general, which is these games have the magic power of bringing out different things in people that you didn't expect. Like, my favorite is when, I introduce somebody that's very shy and quiet to D&D, and they just make an ass-kicking barbarian.
Yeah.
Just kicks the doors down and just cusses and throws meat everywhere. Like, I love seeing people not be themselves, like, or becoming somebody else, because, again, if you know who you are, then you can be anybody. So I
love that. I love that quote so much more. It's true. There's so much. It is wild how much self-discovery is found in a game where you're playing other people, right? Like, there's so much self-discovery in that. Oh, I love it.
So D also has a question in chat. If Matt in comedy isn't exactly what he would gravitate towards, but does, what do you think that as the comedy guy would be that equal portion for you?
Oh, well, you know what? I think in Dimension 20, like, in my home games, there is definitely comedy in the home games that we do, but I don't include comedy in the world building. So like there, even in like a high fantasy, but I think that one of the keys to writing great drama is that you need comedy, because one of the things that becomes very toxic is think about when you watch a movie that never deviates from a tone. Movies are about 2 hours long. Imagine doing 100-hour actual play that was fully grimdark. It actually becomes cartoonish, right? Moments of levity help us fall in love with characters, even if we're watching a drama. Like, think about your favorite dramas and the moment where a character does something kind or does something a little bit loving or has a moment where they laugh about something. Like, that allows us to, and again, it's more realistic, right? I don't know about you guys, but in moments of grief or trauma or loss in my life, often you find a moment of absurdity in them. Like, I've often said my grandfather's funeral was one of the best comedy shows I ever attended. Because we were crying. It was, sorrow and loss and grief. And then people got up and eulogized my grandfather, Jack Mulligan. He's one of the funniest guys in the world. You can't tell a story about his life without it including something funny. So what the hell? You got to laugh, right? I think that for me, in Dimension 20, even in these bizarre worlds, I think we've had moments of deep sorrow and moments of sadness and moments of tension and fear. So I think that, it's a good, like a good cocktail, just the percentages change. If I was going to do a dramatic thing, you do, one more shot of this and one less shot of that, and you end up with something that still tastes good, but is a little bit different. But I think that you still want to include all of those things. Epic storytelling, by definition, should be all-encompassing. It should have romance. It should have betrayal. It should have terror. It should have comedy. And I think that when you're talking about tabletop games that occur over dozens and dozens of hours, you do want to include those other things there.
Absolutely. Just to kind of pivot for a second, I do have to say the moments of, the moments of being genuine and sweet, those mean the most to people. I find, especially having a platform, I really want to commend you for how you use those genuine moments for people. I know personally, as somebody who is very anxious and everything, I have to say I've made it a point to remember to say thank you for the moment with Jawbone. Uh,
Oh.
just having anxiety is not a weakness. That's major. Like in that's the kind of thing, like, as we build our platform, I think the magic of the people who are gaining notoriety in the TTRPG space is that we're all trying to come from a vulnerable spot, and trying to let people know that it's okay to feel these things and have these things, and that, look, when you see Jawbone, you do not imagine like this is somebody that's going to empower you.
Or moments like Hilda wouldn't be so funny without the Gorga Zelda in between.
So,
yeah, for sure.
So it's very much a hiding the medicine and the baloney kind of deal. Where like you're just like, I'm watching this because I just want to see a kick-ass werewolf that's accidentally dunked on my favorite character, Galir, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, this is something that I need to consider. Like, you know what, this isn't a weakness, and I'm okay with that portion of myself.
You have no idea how much that means to me. The fact that we could, it's like, I mean, because there is that part of me that loves a challenge. Anyone who's like seen me on game shows knows which is that thing of like, yeah, you could make someone cry over like Romeo and Juliet, or I could make them cry with a story about a werewolf giving a blowjob. And if I could do that, that's a trick to pull off.
Oh my god. I think that's perfect place to actually call it. I don't think we're going to top that at all, ever.
Oh my god.
Just on my end, really quickly, thank you so much for joining us, Brennan. This has been an absolute pleasure. I hope to talk to you again in the future.
Yes.
I just want to pick your brain about all things sketch comedy and improv. And most importantly, thank you to everybody who has stuck with this weird little, absolutely bonkers talk show. We don't have plans.
20 episodes now.
20 episodes in. Thank you all so much. Mm-hmm. And Anita, or Brennan, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody.
Join. I can't wait to talk to y'all again. This has been so much fun. You two are wonderful. I had the time of my life.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Is there anything you want to plug while you're here?
Sure. At Brennan LM on Twitter, at Brennan Lee Mulligan on Instagram. Dimension 20 has new episodes every Wednesday over on Dropout.tv, and you can go to youtube.com/Dimension20 show, where we have the first season of Fantasy High, the first season of The Unsleeping City, and Escape from the Bloodkeep are all up there for free. Nice. We're an anthology show, so we have different seasons and different settings that are unrelated. But you can anything on our YouTube channel is good to watch, so go ahead and check it out.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Anita. This is my channel, Critical Misses. We started as a inclusive RPG space for people of marginalized identities to come hang out, play Dungeons and Dragons without having to worry about the boys club and game stores. And now we're a Twitch channel. And I started streaming this time last year. I started this channel back in April. And look where we are now. Holy moly. You can find me here most times, unless I'm over on Noir's channel for Lonely Throne. Noir, you want to do your quick 10-second pitch?
I'm Noir. You can find me on all the things as the Noir Enigma or Noir Enigma because I'm not great with branding. I'm on all of the TTRPG shows. If you look for a TTRPG show, I'm probably there. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
You're doing one tonight, though, correct?
I am doing one tonight. I will be playing with the lovely James Intricasso. I'll also be playing with James Gaines.
Guilty Cosplays in that, too. A whole bunch of really wonderful people are going to be.
It's amazing. just a bunch of amazing people, and we're playing for a cause. This is a charity. We are trying to keep Georgia blue. We've got some runoff elections, and we need to make sure that Mitch McConnell gets his filthy, dirty, Palpatine-like hands off of the Senate. So if you have a chance to come check us out, we're playing Honey Heist. If you don't have a chance to help us out, please stop by and donate if you can. We need to fix the country. So I'm going to play Honey Heist to make that happen. Woo! Make it make sense.
Incredible.
But yeah, we are going to go on a raid. We're going to raid into Chromatic Chimera. They're another great RPG channel that we
last
adore
thing,
and
I'm
love.
also guesting on Fast Times at D&D High with for Sephiroth because she let me be a guest for some reason. I have no idea. I'm so
I
sorry
wonder
to
why.
interrupt you.
But yeah, we're gonna raid into Chromatic Chimera. We're gonna spread some love over there, and then we're gonna probably sign off for the afternoon now for me, but it's still morning for Brennan at least. So, but yeah, until next time, everyone, we all love you all so very much. Thank you for those 2 level 5 hype trains. What the heck? And until next time, the ritual has concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Love you.